Oh dear. I think I know what this is. You see, Stan, as you get older, things that you used to like start looking and sounding like shit. And things that seemed shitty as a child don't seem as shitty. With you, somehow the wires have gotten crossed and everything looks and sounds like shit to you. It's a condition called being a cynical asshole.
Oh no.
Yes. And there's no known cure, I'm afraid. Everything just seems shitty and everyone starts to seem shitty and everything they say just starts...
It stinks. It stinks. It stinks.
Yes, Mr. Sherman, everything stinks.
Must everything be boring and sad?
Who are you?
I'm Ray.
Ray who?
Ray Skywalker.
You serious?
So I tried it. Well, the rest is history. Let me ask you something. When my wife's father has introduced me to stogies, what is she gonna say? I'm ballsy. I don't take no shit from anyone. I smoke my stogie anywhere I want. I don't have to find a hideout place like you.
Oh, what is that smell? What smell? You cannot tell me that you don't smell that. Oh, okay. Alright, yeah, no, I smell it. That is bad. Where does a smell like that even come from? That was you? What? No, what? Then why are you raising your hand? Raising my hand? I'm not raising my... Wait, what? No, I swear I did. I'm not raising my hand. I did not fart. I did. That was not me. What does that even mean? You are not making any sense. Just go to the bathroom.
It stinks.
Desperate. Your turn.
Desperate,
Desperate.
desperate,
Desperate.
desperate.
You hate to do it, but at the same time, it's hilarious.
Oh, whenever I need to find you, you're always in some kind of trouble.
Jan, what a pleasant surprise.
What would you do without me, Kyle?
I'd be a content old man.
Hello and good evening, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Saturday Night Sith, number 147. We're almost hitting that 150 mark. Let's go. I am your host, the Fractured Filter, and with me tonight is, as always, my friend, my compatriot, my buddy in all the madness, Jay Hitman. You know what? How the hell are you tonight, sir?
Yeah, I'm excited to get right into it, man. There's a lot to talk about.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
do.
there's stuff to
We
talk
got some
about.
stuff. We got some stuff. You know,
A lot of
think-
stuff. I'm excited though because you, my friend,
Mhm.
did me the honor of watching a very good movie. over your days off, I think. Yes.
I did finally tag in and,
We'll be
check it out. I did the
we'll be
homework.
getting into
I
that.
did the
Okay.
homework. We will be getting into
be
that. I'll even
be
have
getting yes, yes,
my
yes, yes.
notes. My notes are ready. They're ready to go.
Be probably towards the end, but I'm very curious to see your because you've not watched that before, huh?
This was a first. Yes.
This was the first. You popped your cherry. Your AC cherry.
Yeah.
Your Action Comics cherry. Yeah.
Well, I've seen the original, so.
Well, yeah, the original's always hard to beat. Can't beat the original, but
let's get to the chat just really quick here. We got the New York Florida man was in first, but I can't bring it up, unfortunately, saying sassy old black lady voice. Super what now? We had Melissa Lord also in here early saying, hey, Fractured Filter, hello. And hello to Chris Lee. How are you doing today? Saying Star Wars podcast. Neat. We dabble here and there. Our focus has changed over time.
It has.
And hello to the backseater. How are you doing? Saying hail Filter and Hitman. Today marks 1 full year on YouTube for him. All right. Congratulations, sir.
Let's
Congratulations. Decrepit. Hello. How are you doing? Evil Fractured Filter left. No, I had the clip in of when I did the unfortunate business of spacing a bunch of stormtroopers from Jedi Outcast, but it had to be done. And yes, hello, Greg. How are you doing tonight, sir? Saying, hey, it's actually on a Saturday this time. Yes, it is. We are actually on a Saturday. Decrepit says, this is a Stargate podcast disguised as a Star Wars podcast. Like I said, we dabble. But yeah, so as Hitman was alluding to a moment ago, because that's the chat already, let's go. The homework from last week, if anybody remembers, was he wanted me to watch Zack Snyder's Man of Steel.
I did.
Yep. And I watched it. And I did that.
Are we getting right into it? Are we gonna wait? Whatever you want to do, I don't care.
Well, what were you? I thought you said we were gonna get right into it.
Oh, I meant like we could save it for the end, or we could just. I don't care. Whatever we do, we do it.
I got nothing else in particular at the moment, so
we can do that then.
All right, but you dabble, not diddle, dabble. Not diddle, dabble. Great.
Diddle dabble.
But yeah, so where do I start with this one?
Just give her the old college try.
I mean, I'm trying, because I was trying to organize my thoughts on how I wanted to approach talking about this, and like it was overall, I didn't think it was terrible. Like some people, like there's some people that just like vitriolically hate this movie,
Man of Steel.
Oh yeah. And
there's a lot of people who
I
understand
Zack
Snyder.
That too.
The cult, the Snyder cult.
There's the Snyder Bros, the Snyder cult. Yes. Why
don't we do this really quick? Why don't we start with let's do this. This might be fun. We'll structure this into to where maybe everybody can understand, or if you're not a DC fan, maybe we can help people understand. What is your knowledge of like Krypton and Superman? Let's start there. What do you know about Krypton? Your general understanding?
Just that it was its own civilization, very well advanced over Earth's, and I mean, at least from this. Are you talking about like my general, like what I understand basically?
Yeah.
I mean, that's basically it. It's just that they were they were an advanced group of people, and unfortunately their planet was doomed for destruction. At least from what I remember from the Superman animated series, Brainiac was behind the destruction. But otherwise, that's my basic understanding of the Kryptonians. And then, expose them to yellow sun. They get super freaking powered. What a hack. but it's very, very basic understanding. I said last week when we talked, or what was it? I forgot what week I think it was last week we talked about the Superman movie.
Yeah.
Was that I'm very much a normie when it comes to anything Superman related. So
Yeah.
please have some kids gloves with me. But otherwise, that's my basic gist of them.
Okay. What's your understanding of kind of like the whole like Jor-El and just go through the movie then. Like so like your general understanding of
going through the movie, I like it was, I thought like even with this movie, it had a good like a good kind of origin story in a sense, some groundwork for it. Which I wish they kind of held to, and I think they could have kept things as a little more set up for sequels. And this is where this movie definitely had the problems of a lot of DC properties where it feels like they have some certain groundwork, but then they want to rush right to some bigger stuff to happen.
Yeah. You have an example of what you mean by that?
Well, so like it was like I felt like they were building up Superman and Clark and him. Like I liked how he started even just like basically getting the start of knowing some of his powers, especially for like he first started like more just doing those great leaps and bounds until then he started to start flying, which I think they should have stuck with that and like it was not brought in Zod for this movie as the enemy and maybe
really
yes, I think Zod should have been held for a later, maybe like a sequel or a later sequel or even a Justice League thing. Because I think they laid some decent groundwork for like Superman learning his powers and stuff like that to get to that. And then like they could have had another enemy
origin story
and another enemy that could have really kind of worked him in to then basically at the end of the movie then he has like he's picked up the flight, he's picked up his heat vision and stuff like that, and then maybe even like the ice breath, and has those tools to then go into then the next movie, you know.
So you're saying maybe they should have not tied in an origin story with this movie.
No. I think the origin story was fine for this movie. I kind of liked some of the stuff that they did set up for what happened on Krypton, and then Jor-El with his showing what they were wanting to have go forward. And hello Briscoe, how's it going?
I was like, how do you do? I guess my question is, how do you really do? I mean, how do you do a origin story without, I guess, Zod? I guess you could essentially, but I think that's
that was like good. Like I said, it was good to have it for setup to then he could be brought in later, because like it was, we didn't know that he and yet Greg, he says, and also it's not cool to get transported up to your ships in people-sized dildo pods. I did make a note of the dildo pods, yes. Those pods look awfully phallic. But I thought it would like just kind of getting that set up at least for Zod, Phantom's, what was it, the Phantom Zone or whatever?
Phantom Zone.
Yeah, to get him out of the way that way. And then it was just it felt a little jumbled though, because suddenly it was like, boom, we're going into the future. Clark is all grown up. And I'm like, oh, what happened to like, you know, him landing on Earth and stuff like that. But then they then served that with flashbacks, but then even like the current time was kind of jumping forward here and there. So
you never knew he was a fisherman.
No,
I never thought.
That was
he's Arthur Curry at the first. I was like, oh, Aquaman's in the movie.
Well, it was interesting to have him go kind of doing the whole traveling the Earth sort of thing. And then, like I said, then they kind of serve everything up with then the flashbacks within flashbacks.
Yeah.
What I did think was, and I feel like even that interaction with Pa Kent is generally greatly taken out of context to some degree. Because I mean, I understand he kind of starts off the conversation wrong after Clark helps saves those kids. I think it was in the bus. And he asks him, he's like, well, what should I have done? Just let them die? He's like, well, maybe. I don't know. And he does, like, it wasn't the best way to go into that, but the way the follow-up, the way he explains his thoughts on the whole situation, on whether or not the human race is even ready to grasp or understand that we are not alone in the universe, it kind of made me think of the little conversation with Agent K and Men in Black, where he said, I said this, where he says, a person is smart, people are dumb, panicky, dangerous animals, and you know it. And, you know, getting that answer to are we alone in the universe and realizing that there's an alien on Earth, how would people react? Especially one that has the kind of super strength and super abilities that he does. So I did kind of like that little conversation between them, because Pa Kent is trying his best too to give the kid guidance, who is ultimately an alien child from another planet, has these extraordinary abilities, and how people could look at, because they're almost like the kid, one of the kid that he saved, his mother was talking like biblical stuff, like he was, you know, Jesus himself, sort of thing. So, I just wrote, Pa Kent starts out the conversation a bit in the wrong place. I get that, what people say for it, but ultimately he isn't wrong about the human race changing what we know to be true, answering the age-old question, and then people wouldn't know how to react. Goes back to even what the Agent K said. So, you know, that was at least what I thought was, I felt like a lot of these different circles for the people that generally, even some of the people that like this movie, have a problem with that. And I get aspects of that, but ultimately I didn't see it as that troubling. I do also get why people were like, why did he just hold out his hand when he was going to get sucked up by a tornado, when Clark could have easily, you know, rushed in, saved him, and that would have been it. But that man, he will live and die by his words.
Yeah.
And was fully committed to making sure only when Clark was truly, at least maybe for himself to finally, go, yes, I am I am a person from another planet, sort of thing. Only when he was ready to do that, and maybe when the world was maybe ready for it, although the world probably wasn't ever ready for it. It just got forced into it.
So he's like
because
just
it's
sacrificing himself for nothing.
Right. So, like I said, I get why people see that as kind of a goofy thing. At the same time, I'm like, well, this guy will live and die by his words in the most ultimate way.
I think instead of having Kevin Costner, they should have had Sean Bean as his dad, because Sean Bean always dies, and that would have been more
just to make that make sense.
Yeah, because it's like the world's not ready to know that you're Superman. It's like, but I could save you, and I don't. That was the part I think I didn't quite understand, like why
he would tell him not to save him.
Yeah. Like I said, kids already thought he was a freak, so it's like, what do you protect him from? I guess they didn't really know. Yeah, I mean, the movie with the school bus, So I don't know.
Right. The one thing I thought was really kind of goofy, though, was that there was the scene with the guy in the bar and stuff like that, and then the guy comes out to his truck being turned into a pincushion, and the guy had no real reaction. He just kind of stared at it. You'd almost think he'd be more of a real, like, visceral, like, what the fuck? And also, How did nobody see him do that?
Yeah.
That was kind of like, okay, weird. Why?
Don't ask, don't tell. He's probably drunk.
Okay.
I mean, I'm sure you probably see some crazy stuff being drunk too, and just don't question it.
Let's see. I'm just trying to. I didn't really. Funny thing is like I didn't take a whole lot of notes on this. Like once it kind of got to a certain point, I just kind of got. I just kind of was just like I was just watching a flick. I was just kind of getting a little into it. Let's see. Lois was a freaking bloodhound. The way she ended up like tracking his ass back all the way to Smallville like that. But I mean, hey, I guess if you're
thirsty or bloodhound, what do you mean, bloodhound or thirsty?
No, no, just her investigatory knack of going all the way back through all these people.
You can say thirsty if you want.
Well, she probably was thirsty.
Man, that's like, I mean, she's like, might as well have worked for the. I mean, this is like Daily Planet's like the Chicago Tribune, man. Like they're savages. They don't stop for anything.
The one kind of weird thing that I thought too was that military base. Who was Clark's contacts to get him forged documents to work on a military base?
Lex
hasn't even been. I mean, the only thing we got of Lex Luthor in this is all the LexCorp trucks and stuff, but how he has no connections to anybody that I would think.
Chris Maloney, man. Stabler was his connection. Once Stabler left, New York Police Department, he decided to go work for the military.
I was confused at first with the whole 20,000-year-old ships that was on Earth, but that got explained with them being scout ships that they sent out.
Yeah. You mean Jor-El's ship?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did. So, like, in terms then of like some of the actors and stuff like that, I did think Russell Crowe was great as Jor-El. He was selling it. And it's kind of great with even then his interactions with Henry Cavill once he was discovering then once he was like unlocking things to the ship and all that.
Yeah. I do agree with you. I did think Russell Crowe, and it's not because I love Australia like we talked on Sunday. I think he did play fantastic Jor-El, and it's just also I mean and I don't mean to cut you off, but like even like the armor. I'm not giving credit to Zack Snyder, but like the armor, Kryptonian armor, I thought was really well done. It gave me when Jor-El goes in and gets his armor on, it gave me Christopher Nolan vibes, like his Batman vibes. So it's like who stole what from who.
Yeah.
But yeah, like so anyways, continue.
Well, and then like it is with the overall look, I really wish this was a little more bright, a little more vibrant. I'd say that was like the one upside to the Superman movie was at least it kind of had those bright colors.
The suit, or are you talking about the Kryptonian armor? Or
the Superman suit, yes, and just the overall. I mean, the overall movie presentation just felt very just like saturated, like it just didn't have a lot of color to it in general. So it would have been nice to kind of still have that, or just like kind of get that feel from it more. Zack Snyder, though, seems to like keeping things kind of.
It is dark and
dim and everything. It's. Yeah. I remember, like I've watched 300, so that some of the very similar things going on. So it would have been nice to get that, but otherwise, and also, was it Greg here saying Krypton was a horrible society where people were essentially bred and forced to play a specific role, and nobody actually fucked. Yeah, it kind of to a weird degree, like at least the whole like
the Bjorns almost.
I was gonna say like the Asgard and Stargate, like they except being forced into roles, it was more of like they were clones upon clones upon clones of of themselves. I don't know if that was quite
You're
the case with the
right.
Kryptonians. So
You're right. The Kryptonians are much better than the Bajorans.
And so then it was then kind of funny because then part of the whole goal with sending Kal-El off to Earth with all the genetic memory this round was it was kind of like Jor-El was kind of the progressive of this, and they wanted to bring freedom back to their people instead of like Greg pointed out, there all these people being forced into these roles, which then kind of it takes a bit away from even Zod's villainy, I would say, or at least villain, perspective. Because it is that they were bred and forced into particular roles. They didn't have a choice in the matter.
Kind of like North Korea, almost, if you think about it.
I guess so.
Like you're told what to do.
So I would almost like, so at least in one regard, and like if we're like comparing like between the two, Luther and James Gunn's at least came across as a just straight up douchebaggy villain, and he was just a dickhead for the sake of being a dickhead, and that's always been
just
kind
a
of
spoil. Yeah, it was just,
and that's kind of been my problem with like some of these superhero movies, that villains aren't just villains for the sake of villains. They've got a traumatic backstory of some kind that brings a bit of sympathy to them, and I'm like, okay,
no, you don't want that.
No, exactly, you don't. So
not being sympathetic to Joker might be the exception, because he did not ask to be thrown into that vat of acid. That was
that was thrust upon him.
But it's also his own stupid fault, tripping and whatnot. So but he's the exception to the rule.
So and then like it is, then it gets a lot more of it gets kicked off with Zod, with his demands and stuff like that. Clark dons the Superman outfit. Then that's where it just kind of feels like it really rushes into it. And then then it does kick off where I mean, it's funny that with just the help of Jor-El's AI or whatever, helping Lois Lane through the whole ship, gets her out of it and stuff. But
the difference between him and Mr. Terrific and her flying the ship, then
that's what I'm saying. It's kind of goofy. And then she's just, was she killing people? I don't know.
Oh, absolutely.
So she really handled that pretty well, and it's a little jarring.
She's a killer, dude.
And then like it is, the whole battle between Zod. There's like fight one between Superman, Zod, and his cronies.
I don't know. Cronies is a little disrespectful. I'd like to say followers, probably, or subordinates.
Greg saying, nope, Lois cannot help Superman. That makes it a bad movie. Wasn't even that shit. I wasn't even talking about her helping him. I'm just talking about how, she manages to, kill a bunch of people on her way through that place. All from it was kind of like what I thought was the goofiness of Luther giving the commands to Future Bizarro. I'm like, feels weird. Not even, it was through his cronies. Through his cronies that then give the commands to him. So it's like this extra steps. I understand where people did take issue a little bit with Superman not being, all that concerned with some of the collateral damage. Mainly at first, the start of the first fight, I kind of got it. He was pissed. He was angry. And it was just kind of like a rage moment. And he's fresh to this. So, But then there was the scene where he just kind of floats in between two gas tanker things that are pushed at him, and he doesn't do anything to like stop it. He just floats in between, like I'm like, dude, you could have stopped that from destroying that building.
The building, though. Who cares about the building?
There are people still in that city that they were trying to get out.
You didn't know if they were in the building or not.
Well, that's just it. So he should have stopped it because he didn't know if there's anybody in the building or not. Otherwise, a lot of the damage came from Zod. Zod was the one causing the most collateral damage. Huh?
What's the saying? All's fair in love and war.
I believe you just said it. So,
yeah.
So, like I said, I can see some people's complaints.
You could say the same thing to Spider-Man, though, fighting freaking what's the dude's name? Not Starro. Who's the electric guy? Electrode.
Oh, yeah, Electro in which movie?
Yeah, Amazing Spider-Man, whichever was it, number 2 with Andrew Garfield.
Oh yeah, The Amazing Spider-Man 2.
I think you play that to any superhero movies. Like there's people in that building.
That was at least like I pointed out was the good thing in the James Gunn Superman movie was at least Superman was worried about any excessive damage and people that he wanted to get to safety and stuff like that. That was good. And it was the other clowns that, you know, that weren't giving a shit and were just fighting the creature. So
the kaiju.
Yes, the kaiju.
You forgot
the kaiju. Since I watched this a couple of days ago, I'm trying to remember everything. Because like I said, I got to a point where I just kind of started. What
were your thoughts on the vision of him, Superman, on all the skulls and bones and whatnot?
Oh, yeah, the whole like mind vision thing that when they had him on the ship and Zod was talking to him. I mean, doesn't that kind of hint to what they were going to be doing in the Justice League movie, just mass death and destruction? But
I mean, they're trying to rebuild. I mean, the whole thing was they were trying to rebuild Krypton.
Yeah, so it's again the whole thing with that, which I thought even Kal-El was very flippant. He's like, they had their chance and severs the whole thing. So
yeah, but it's like Zod's original plan.
Yeah, he was trying to terraform Earth.
Jor-El's plan in the Superman movie.
Yeah, kind of flipped that one.
So,
but I mean, it makes sense for Zod. So, what's
really interesting about I think this movie is like you can't. It's like I don't know. Part of me is like Zod. With Zod's, you can understand what Zod's trying to do, and it's it's not like. You like sympathize with him, but it's like in a real messed up way.
When you learn everything about the Kryptonians and what they were doing for their society, you understand why he is just so determined to try and
and it's not like
he once had
for sure. And I don't think, and this could be wrong of me to say, and whatnot, but it's not like from a power hungry like he wants to rule type thing. He really wants to. I think save Krypton and the people. Maybe he does want to rule. I don't know. I viewed it as like he's just trying to. He's trying to. The means that he's going about to accomplish it may be viewed wrongly, like saying. Maybe it's like saying bomb on an airplane. You probably don't want to do it, but like his intention, like he has intentions, and in his mind, his intentions are good.
Well, it's all about what he was basically bred and raised to do. So that's all he knows. All he can think to do is just that.
Yeah.
So
It's like, heretic. I'm gonna start saying that to people out in public. Like I'll just hear them like just conversing and I'll just out of nowhere be like, heretic.
I could see you doing that.
I kind of like Zod in this movie. To be fair, kind of how he did, and again, it's obviously different than the original Superman, you know, with Christopher Reeves. But
Yeah.
I think what I did like about this, and I can't believe I'm giving credit to Zack Snyder, but credit needs to be given where it's due. I'll say that, and I did kind of like how Zod was portrayed. I do like the actor. I kind of like you could like I said before, you could see why he's doing what he's doing versus like sitting there and trying to figure out like why are you doing this? Like why are you going about this way, right? You know, you could it doesn't leave it up for a lot of questioning if that makes sense. Like okay, no, like he was bred to be a warrior. This is how he feels, or this is how he's kind of his not presupposition, but this is how he is going to go about doing it because that's all he knows.
So yeah, actually, Greg brings up Greg here asks, "Can I ask a very basic question about Zod's plot? Kal-El clearly thrives on Earth. What the fuck are you terraforming it for? Krypton babies born in Earth's environment would be fine. Not just be fine, they'd be extraordinary. They would be like the dominant race on Earth within no time.
They'd be like, you know, that's actually really.
So yeah, that's a very good point.
Why did Zack Snyder do that?
Because that doesn't make a whole. That's like you need a big MacGuffin device to. I don't know because like why would.
What are they terraforming? Is it terraforming for the? See, this like when I watched, I didn't know a lot about terraforming. So terraforming is basically what making Earth the exact same as Krypton.
Yes,
environment wise,
right?
That's stupid. Well, maybe unless Zod didn't know.
No, but he was adapting to Earth's atmosphere. He's adapting
he didn't know
to the yellow sun. So like, what would be the point?
Yeah, but he didn't know at the time. Like you saw how.
No,
he was.
He was getting control over it.
Well, yes, and from a certain point of view. No, that brings up a good point. I don't know. Because it'd be boring if you didn't have a machine like that. I guess. You know. You got to have some type of, you know.
Well, they needed then their end game of getting rid of the other Kryptonians back into the Phantom Zone.
Yeah.
But then to have this big final battle between Superman and Zod.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Greg says literally land and start making babies in secret until you have 50 super Kryptons to kick his ass.
I don't know. Maybe the whole terraforming thing, maybe it's because they didn't want. I don't know. Maybe they're just trying to make it an easier transition and kind of cut up the whole like adapting type thing. Because you saw even as Zod was adapting, he was having a hard time controlling it until he eventually got control. But the question is everybody?
Well, that's just it. Then it's just knowing that, and then even then talking to Kal-El will be like, okay, so you grew up. And you were adapting to this as you matured, right? So at what age did the power start kicking in? Oh, so then you just start training the kids once they get to a certain age.
Yeah, but is Kal-El
prepared
like
for this kind of like puberty? Like
okay,
now time for the powers and the red eyes.
The question I would pose is like, is Kal-El like just a normal Kryptonian, or is he like the Anakin of Jedi?
He is the one.
I mean, he's not. There's no problem.
Well, he was the first natural born, right? He's the first.
Well, I mean, that's actually true. So I don't know. Is ever Krypton? But also, he was getting his butt kicked by the freaking two, whatever you call it, the other two Kryptonians, like getting like eviscerated.
Yeah, he was getting his butt kicked for a little bit there.
So,
yeah, I like it was like I just kind of like with this movie I just kind of fell into it and just kept going and like some of it was kind of like weird and goofy, like I said, and then I just kind of was like, and I was still trying to understand what was the whole thing with the Colonel guy.
Hmm?
Was it Colonel Nathan Hardy? He seemed to have this weird thing with Lois. Like, I wasn't sure if he was supposed to be like her dad or if he just had the hots for her.
Yeah, she is. Or I don't know if she.
So I was kind of confused by some of that little bits.
I'll pull up my encyclopedia and we'll see if her dad was actually a colonel in the Air Force. Actually, that's a good idea. Hold on, Philibus, while I reach out for my Brad level Star Trek encyclopedia.
Yeah, Greg. Greg says some of the fight was cool. Other parts looked downright silly. Zod clawing up the side of the building looked horrible. I did kind of chuckle when he started, kind of jumping up the side of the building there. Decrepit said the fight in the city, though outlandish, destructive, and necessary for the plot to Batman vs Superman. I like the fight between him and Zod. Yeah, like it was. Some of it was fine.
Sam Lane was her dad.
Okay.
Rapidly advanced to position of general.
Hey, Dan Blackbird, how's it going? He says the Earth was being terraformed because they needed a giant robot spider to fight. See, now it all makes sense.
Kaiju. Everyone loves their kaijus, man. So who was stronger than who's the question? Zod or Kal-El?
Oof. I mean, I would have just given battle experience and stuff like that to Zod. But like it was, he was still new to the powers himself. So, I mean, they're almost kind of even. But then that was also then why Superman needed to, I guess, do the old neck snap. Which I think this is like, it was funny because I was like, wait, has Superman ever killed? And I started kind of looking into it and stuff like that. I was like, oh, so he has killed Zod before in the comic books. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't understand. So then I started not understanding why people had such a freaked out moment. But this is why. Well, and this is also partly why, like, I think they should have waited to bring Zod in for something like this, because then Superman could have established his moral code and everything like that, and then like had that as such a insane moment where he's just put into that position, however it was even maybe set up in the comics too, where he's put into that position and he has to take out Zod, which then goes into then like another movie of him either like removing himself from society and stuff like he went through and did all that. So
like Yoda did.
Like I said, that's where it's like this needed to breathe a little more, and where I think it almost worked as a decent origin story for this new Superman. They just needed to, like you said, they should have brought in a different villain altogether to get it kicked off.
But who do you bring in? That's the thing. Because again, we don't know the time with the timeline and everything.
Let's see. Craig says, I don't care what anyone says. Superman killed Zod in Superman 2 after smirking as he crushed all the bones in his hands. I haven't watched the Superman 2 yet. I only watched the first Superman, Christopher Reeves movie. Decrepit says, I don't love Man of Steel, but it was a good moment for DC fans. Everything else fucked it all up even worse. Yeah, Batman vs Superman and then going forward was just like, again, they were jumping the gun too quickly.
Well, that's the thing, right? If that terrible monstrosity that was Batman versus Superman and everything else that came after Man of Steel, if that hadn't, would have Man of Steel risen to a higher level of,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. This is where I get frustrated. It's like, you produce, for what it is, a good, decent movie, all things considered, and then you just continue, and then like Batman versus Superman comes out, and then how you decide to bring freaking Ezra Miller, I won't go on this tangent. I just don't know how you create this. Oh, I do, I guess in a sense now because it's freaking Zack Snyder, but like I don't know. It's also frustrating because it's like Man of Steel, all things considered, I think was a decent movie. I enjoyed it. There's some things that obviously I did.
I enjoyed it. I found less to really rip into in my notes and stuff like I did with the Superman movie. But I think both, both have good parts to them.
Yeah.
But they're just, again, both are rushing to a finish line that they don't need to yet.
Right.
Like I understand, or a lot of the origin stories for some of these superheroes has been kind of done to death. But I don't think it's necessarily bad to do, especially then if, say, you like introduce a villain that maybe hasn't been introduced to the cinematic universes yet, make it a good way to bring about the character in going back to even deeper roots of the origins and stuff like that. To because Superman used to didn't he just like jump around and stuff like that before he started flying? Even in the comics, that was a thing. Correct me if I'm wrong here. So, they need to build instead of just rushing. That's the problem with all this stuff. And then Man of Steel, didn't have like I said, it wasn't bad. I enjoyed it for the most part, but it really just, I felt Zod was jumping the gun.
In what sense?
Like I said, just getting to that kind of a big threat. Again, like we could scale down these threats. Like it doesn't need to all be like earth-shattering, world-destroying events.
The thing where I was confused, and again, I need to go back and kind of read through my encyclopedia, is like when they were cast out to the Phantom Zone on the ships and everything, and then Krypton exploded. Were these ships somehow connected to the planet to where when the planet exploded, they were free?
Somehow then the planet freed them after destruction, which I'm like, wait,
and then the other thing is you're not able. So within the comics, to my understanding, Superman's powers, and I would say, I would think this would go through the Kryptonians. Their powers don't exist in the Phantom Zone. I don't know if in the movie didn't really flesh it out, but it's like the planet exploded, they were freed, and then they saw the planet explode.
Yeah,
but you're in the Phantom Zone.
They're in the Phantom Zone since. Yeah, that doesn't make a whole lot of sense.
It's like what is keeping. Like it almost asks you, like you almost ask the question. It's like, are the ships alive, or is there some type of there had to be a connection from the ships to Krypton because the minute it exploded, they were free. So that was kind of like I don't know. That was kind of interesting.
Yeah,
they were frozen. They were like, I don't know, frozen. They were like in some type of gelatin frozen whatever you call it, cryo freeze. They were supposed to be there for like a millennia. Like 1,000 years or something, like whatever it was.
Supposed to be, yeah. They're supposed to be locked away, and then planet blows up. They're freed. Like, okay.
And then you go from planet to planet harvesting dead cores.
They were going to all the scout ships that were sent out from Krypton, and were just harvesting, and basically using that to get basically probably planet hop from place to place to place, so they could eventually find wherever. Oh, that's right, because then when he activated that ship fully, he activated a distress beacon that alerted them, and then they went to Earth. That's how they knew he was on Earth, which they got there awfully quick. This is another instance where the time frames of everything going on isn't super clear. Like it almost feels like it's like from day to day to day to day, but it's not. Like especially once it gets to that point where Superman encounters Lois, but then like she does her reporting, so that takes its time. But it just kind of like just kind of, it was weird. It felt weird sometimes. Like it just was like, maybe it's because I was just that, I guess I was just that engrossed in the movie that it was just like, it was just flying by. No pun intended.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, yeah. Overall, not terrible.
Like, how do you rate it? How do you rate it? One out of 10.
Let's see.
On a scale of like, and I think it's hard because it's like, as a guy that doesn't know all the lore of Superman, it's like I go in with limited, knowledge. It's also just really hard to compare because it's like, one I think is, on the darker side, and it clearly tells a different story than freaking Superman did. But Superman was more, I think it was more of a lighter, not, and I don't mean lighter in a like a parent standpoint, but lighter in a,
tone of the movie and stuff. And
yeah, like, Detective Comics has always been the darker of, in my opinion, right? DC has always, they have really coined the darkness level of comics, and I'm not saying Marvel's not dark, but DC owns that. Like that's, they've always been known for a darker style story, if that makes sense.
I know what you're saying, yeah.
But with the Superman, it wasn't. It was very.
Meant
I
to be
don't know.
more-
In hindsight, 2020, right? In hindsight, it's like I don't know if they were targeting this movie towards kids with Crypto and
now you're talking about the Superman movie, the James Gunn
yeah.
Superman
Now in
movie.
hindsight, right? Yeah, after coming back and talking about Man of Steel, it's like this is more of a, and I would never put Zack Snyder in the same category as Christopher Nolan. But what I mean by this is this is a more darker, I think, or a more maybe targeted towards. I'm not gonna say adults or kids. It's a more darker story, if that makes sense. With an origin story,
Right?
We didn't really get that with Superman, So I would now say if I had to pick between the two, Man of Steel or Superman, and I've told you like I'll if I'm ever wrong or change my mind, I'll eat crow. I think I would lean more towards probably Man of Steel. Just from an overall story, right? Like,
well, and I at least like that this had the focus on Clark, and we weren't having to worry about other superheroes necessarily. He was the focus.
This was more, I think, very Clark centered, Clark focused, if you will. Like I said, I'm not taking anything away from Superman, but I think this. But what's interesting though is this, and I think I said, I don't know if I said this before, but you have Jor-El in Man of Steel, right?
Mm-hmm.
Put in all of the the hope and whatnot into Cal and sending them off, and how he does say something interesting that when Mara, whatever, not Mara, has Laura says, well, he'll be an outcast and he'll be a freak, and he says to them that he'll be a god, right?
Right.
Which I thought was interesting, but he's putting the hope. He's like your only hope, Krypton's hope and whatnot, into Cal, sends them off, and then Jor-El from Superman's like, go kill everybody and
conquer and start your harem, son.
right, which is just very interesting. And again, I can't 100% say this because I don't know a lot about the Kryptonians. I know that they're warrior, but I don't. It seems very contradictory now. It's like what Jor-El from Man of Steel, the message he was given and sending, versus this Jor-El. But again, I don't know. Like, was he saying, when he says, you're our hope, well, what Hope are you referencing? Are you wanting him to go and start his own harem and whatnot, or do you want Cal to go and live amongst them, right?
Yeah.
Versus Superman. So I thought that was kind of interesting. I just think overall, I think Man of Steel is probably a little bit more well done from a graphic standpoint, and I can't even believe I'm saying this, man, because I was super gung ho Superman. I still think it was a good movie, but like watching this again, I just think it's just different.
Yeah, you are getting two very different styles of directing and stuff like that, so that's part of
The
it.
action in Man of Steel, I think, was I enjoyed that more
I was gonna
than
say I kind of liked it a little more than
I did.
the
Like
Superman movie. Like I thought the fight between him and Zod, other than what was
Come
pointed
on,
out with
oh,
him,
yeah.
other than what was pointed out with Zod monkeying up the side of the building.
I mean, look,
Otherwise
yeah.
was very visceral and well done. I thought like it showed just how powerful each of these guys were.
When Jor-El, and I use this term loosely, but when Jor-El coming out of the smoke and getting ready to fight Zod, that was almost, I mean, not near the level as like Yoda saying to Palpatine, if so powerful you are, why leave? But like they're about to go rounds, man. And I remember, whatever, I think it was whatever gun it was where he gave, Zod the cut. I'm like, yes, and then Jor-El got cut. But I think the fight scenes were a lot better. Even like I can't. It's like the fight scenes from Man of Steel versus like him, Superman fighting freaking himself or Bizarro. It's like, where was the blood? Where was but you know what I mean? I think the fight scenes were just, I think, more well done in my opinion.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to agree with you on that one.
So, but you think so? And here's the thing, and I don't know how long an origin, like if you're to do a origin story, how long that origin story should, if it's a whole 2 hour needs to be devoted to an origin story. But I think,
well, it's like I said, like it is. I'd say that includes then when you introduce at least a good villain to complement what you are, starting everything out for. And I thought the beginning scenes with Krypton and Jor-El and stuff like that was a good way to lay that groundwork.
Yeah.
I did think though the like council of the Kryptonians looked really silly. I thought they looked like Time Lords from Doctor Who, the way they were dressed up. But it said, like I said, it laid the groundwork, I thought, and we got to see then, although a little goofy that I think Greg pointed out earlier in the chat, how they ride weird avatar dragon-like creatures that Jor-El was going around on. But it was just good to get to see the society before it blew up. Because I don't even think in the original Superman movie they even touched on that. It was just he's landed on Earth. They get things going from there. So, and then like I said, showing Zod being sent off into the Phantom Zone and everything, like I said, that could have been saved for another movie, in my opinion.
Well,
and
maybe,
and just kind of kept it a little bit simple in certain regards. Like I said, didn't need to be planet level, because we even had that in James Gunn's Superman, planet destroying with the whole split time, what the prison in another dimension thing. And hey, Nightmare, how's it going, dude? Bring it down a little bit. Just calm it down, please. So, like I said, I'm repeating myself now, but yeah.
I can see where, again, I'm going to go throw up here in a minute. I can see where Zack Snyder, I think, was going as far as like, if you're going to try to, you're trying to give a brief history of Krypton, how the planet's, doomed, and you bring in Zod. Like, to your point, he didn't have to bring in Zod, but I think he did. And
he could have like already been in the Phantom Zone, and then they explain what sent him there in another instance.
But I can see where he was going with that, and I don't know within the comics if Zod and Jor-El were actually friends. And obviously in the movie, kind of portrays that they had some
Yeah,
type of
like
relationship, whether it was close or not.
right.
You
Yeah,
know,
I got that too.
so I can see why he did it. But I don't know how you do an origin story. I don't know. I like the beginning of the movie. I enjoyed the bringing in of explaining Krypton, and I my encyclopedia. And this is neither here nor there. The encyclopedia says the core, it was basically blew up like a bomb, and in the movie
Right.
they said it imploded, but that's neither here nor there. But I still enjoy like kind of the backstory of what was going on with it. So I don't know. I think the way that they portrayed Zod and Jor-El as having some type of relationship kind of made it that much more intriguing in a sense for me. But I don't know. I don't know who you start though. If you're doing that, I don't know who you bring in. You can't bring Brainiac off the bat. You can't, so I don't know what villain. And like Jesse Eisenberg. I mean, if you bring in Lex like that, it takes time to develop. If that makes sense.
Oh God, they could. I think they should have picked somebody other than him to be Lex for their Jesse Eisenberg.
Oh, of course, absolutely. And he, to that dude's, somewhat of his defense, he told he came. I think he came out and said that like, hey, like I did what I could with what I had. That doesn't free him of being a terrible actor.
Yeah, no.
Mind you, but if
he was not directed well.
No, but again, he's a crap actor. He so
I haven't seen him in much else, so I can't speak it to a great. The only other thing I've seen him in was Zombieland, and he was he was serviceable in that.
Woody Harrelson made the movie. Let's be honest. I mean, he made the movie. Didn't physically make it, but I know man. Like, so I don't know who you pick. I mean, it's Brainiac, it's Lex. I mean, you could bring in Legion of Doom. I don't know. Huh?
I mean, like it is. I've said it. I'm a normie to Superman, so I don't know all of his villains. What could have worked well? I know so I have mentioned Mr. Bug in that regards. He's talked about bringing in, I think it was Toymaker.
Toymaker is more of a Batman.
Is that a Batman?
I'm sorry, Dollmaker. I think it may have been Dollmaker. Was more.
I know, like there have been other villains mentioned that could have been brought in.
Let's see who. Let's really quick. I mean, let's see what kind of villains he had. Who are his enemies here?
I mean, especially you could just to avoid Lex Luthor for the time being, not have him as the intro villain. Let's see. I don't know if I guess you'd need Lex to do Metallo.
Superman. We'll do 308. Hold on, stand by. We'll see if this has anything in here.
Oh, is it Toy Man?
I thought it was Dollmaker. That. All right, let's see here. Lex, Brainiac, General Zod, Doomsday, Parasite, Metallo, Mr. Mxyzptlk are some of his enemies. So Lex could have waited on Brainiac. I think you've got to do that very, very carefully. It's got to be thought out and done strategically. We did Zod Doomsday, and they brought Doomsday in freaking Batman versus Superman, and that was atrocious.
And that was wasn't that like a weird modified Zod too, if I remember right?
Yeah, it was freaking, and Lex is one created him, and I don't even know if that was actually the case with the comic of Zod.
No. I think,
or not Zod. Lex created Doomsday.
No, I think Doomsday was an alternate. Or another dimensional beast creature that came by. I don't know.
Let's see, standby. So those were, I mean, Mxyzptlk is kind of an interesting one, but again, I mean, those are just a few. That's not obviously all of them, but I am going to look up Doomsday because I am curious. Because if they got that wrong, then There's all sorts of them. Oh my goodness. Okay, let's go to 100. Go to page 100, and we're going to see.
Greg here says, honestly, the best film Lex Luthor is Superman 2025. Sorry, Gene Hackman is a legend, but that was not Lex Luthor.
Gene,
like I said, I thought he was very good.
Who, Gene Hackman or
no? God, the guy
Nicholas
in the 2025. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Let's see here. Doomsday is an alien creature of overwhelming force and savage bloodlust whose appearance invokes terror. When he first arrived to Earth, his rampage of mindless destruction devastated Metropolis. Carnage ended only after Superman died, putting the mindless beast down. What? Oh, Doomsday was created on Krypton nearly 25,000 years ago. The alien that would become a hulking creature of pure destruction was actually the subject of a cruel experiment. He was killed and then killed and cloned again. The process was ruthlessly repeated daily. In some cases, the child learned to live longer and longer each time, finally becoming a killing machine himself at the end of an evolutionary journey that lasted decades. Doomsday was imprisoned, but eventually found his way to Earth. He carved a bloody swap to Metropolis, where Superman successfully stopped him, but at the cost of his own life. While Superman later returned thanks to Kryptonian technology and a visit from his father.
The Kryptonians were up to some wild shit, man.
It doesn't say how he was. So he was not created by freaking Lex Luthor. Interesting. I do have that comic though. I think it's like The Death of Superman, where he kills Doomsday and then Doomsday kills him. Those bastards, they copied that comic. It's Zack Snyder.
Not very well either. Again, that's where it's like that should have been something built up towards, not the second movie that is like, hey, guess what? Yeah. Bam, we're killing Superman. Like, what?
So Superman sent him to the Phantom Zone after receiving some help from both Wonder Woman and Lex Luthor. So that's interesting. So I bet you what they did, what freaking Zack Snyder did, and if this is, obviously gambling on the fact whether he can read or not comics, is I'm assuming that like he's, I don't know, because he was in they sent him to the well, it doesn't make sense though. No, that doesn't make sense, because if you in the movie he literally was cloned by Luthor. So like, no, that's stupid.
Yeah, it was pretty stupid.
That actually irritates me. That actually makes me violent right now.
As you're reading up some of the information, now this is making you more pissed off.
Oh, I take back everything I said about Man of Steel. It's a terrible movie.
Oh no, he's got
no, but this is the problem I have.
Now hating on Man of Steel. No,
this is the problem I have, because these encyclopedias, like, I am nobody special. I am just a blue collar worker who had the ability to find this encyclopedia that was sanctioned by DC. If I can get my hands on an encyclopedia, then Zack Snyder or anybody else who wants to direct and create a movie can get it too. And this comes back to the old tired old argument, like, do you want a movie based off the comics and you know what's going to happen? Yes, I do. Yes, I do. I want to see my comic come to life. That really irritates me. Like, there's no excuse. Lex never created Doomsday. And this isn't subjective. I'm reading off the encyclopedia. No, and the difference is this is actually in the encyclopedia versus what Brad read. I think he was just opened the book and just acted like he read about the Bajorans.
Oh no! Oh god!
God. But yeah. So if he's in the Phantom Zone, then therefore he should have no powers, and he should not be able to get out of the Phantom Zone.
Oh, Doomsday?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. This is interesting. Marvel Pure says that was studio interference. The original Snyder plan was Man of Steel 2 with Brainiac. Because Marvel was releasing Civil War, they had Snyder make Batman vs. Superman. Oh, interesting.
I mean, Doomsday, let's be honest, his weight, he's only a mere 915 pounds. It's a modest weight. And he had hair. His hair is white and red eyes. He didn't have hair in the movie. This pisses me off. This is terrible.
I love how you just going to your little data book has just completely pissed you
No,
off.
no. It's not little. This thing is over.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to.
Thing is
misrepresent your book.
Not
your encyclopedia. Sorry,
encyclopedia. What else do you want to know while we're doing this? Any other questions?
I mean, I guess just what was the original concept of Krypton? I mean, was it this weird?
Krypton? Yeah, here, hold on. Stand by. Yeah, that's a great question.
Yeah.
Stand by. Let me look this up really quick. This is great because I'm actually.
I can't keep up with it like we normally can.
That's great. Yeah, we should just do a whole show devoted to like. You want to know about Krypton or crypto?
Krypton.
First. Krypton. Okay.
Let's understand the differences that we've seen here. Okay, I'm kind of curious.
You just sit down and you wait while I turn the page here. Okay. So Krypton, debut Action Comics Volume 1, June 1938. On Krypton, high intelligence, dense molecular structure, cells capable of absorbing and storing certain frequencies of radiation under a yellow sun, super strength, speed, flight, and vulnerability, enhanced senses, all fueled by exposure to solar energy. Enemies.
But did they fly on dragons? Yep. Did they fly on dragons?
I stand by. That's a great question. I'm getting there. So Krypton was a dense world circling the red sun Rayo. Despite its immense gravity, a passionate, adventurous, and intelligent humanoid race flourished there over millennia, filled with periodic outbreaks of destructive warfare. Kryptonians reached an impressive level of technological advancement. I would say more than the Atlanteans, but that's just my opinion. Much of their later civilization was based on a multi-purpose crystal mineral, sunstone. For a time, Kryptonians were starfaring, but as a result of increasing planetary conflicts, they eventually lost the secret of escaping the planet's potent gravity well. They also developed cloning to a high degree, but when the mass-produced duplicates became entrenched as a slave species, the clones rose up in bloody revolt. The atrocities that followed led to cloning being outlawed and over time utterly detested. Ultimately, Kryptonian culture was ended through
they had their own
ignorance
Clone Wars. Let's go.
Yep. The ruling council, the ones that you said look like Doctor Who, refused to acknowledge the findings of Lee when he discovered the planet's core was highly unstable and heading towards an annihilating atomic detonation, which I guess could be considered an implosion. Solar superpower, all Kryptonians.
Jesus.
Yeah, atomic detonation. Solar superpower, all Kryptons life forms possess a cellular structure that efficiently processes yellow star radiation. They gain superpowers after prolonged exposure. Okay, so let's read this really quick. On the record, okay, well, that's not important. It just talks about seems to exist in 52 universes. There's no dragons in here. Well, that's not. Well, yeah, that's more like a chariot. So, here's a brief. Let's see if there's another page to it. Nope. Lady Shiva's after that. So, doesn't say anything about dragons. But let's be honest, Obi-Wan, he rode a dragon too. So, I mean, let's be fair.
Let's see if I can hang on. Going through the chat here really quick.
Crypto's interesting though, because they absolutely botched crypto.
Well, and you asked for my rating on this,
yes,
on Man of Steel, and I saw even Melissa Lord put it, and I was thinking the same. I was thinking the same rating. I'd say a 7 out of 10.
Okay.
You know, like I said, I enjoyed it. I
What did Melissa Lord give it?
She also gave it a 7 out of 10. I just wish I can't find her. Oh, here we go. She said 7 out of 10. Lamau, it's better than Gunn's movie, but even with Cavill, it's not better than Reeves/Donner. I'd have to rewatch the first Donner, the first Christopher Reeve flick to remind myself. differences because we got that time with Clark with Cavill as Clark, but that was kind of the thing that I remember from the first Reeve movie was that he did when he was Clark, his mannerisms were different. His posture was even slumped and kind of, he made himself seem even more non-threatening, very almost seeming weak and everything. Well, this was like he didn't have a chance to really like put on a disguise, so to speak. It was just like, yeah, you could tell how you wouldn't be able to figure out, yeah, this dude's Superman is kind of beyond me, but yeah, and I also thought Cavill was probably the shining actor of this. Like I thought he made a good Clark Kent. He made a good Superman. He had the look and the physique and everything going for him. So, yeah, I'm getting, and troubles aside, like the movie was, like I said, I just kind of got lost in it. I was just watching for the enjoyment of the movie. Yeah, I noticed little dumb stuff here and there, but otherwise enjoyed it. So I don't quite see the hatred that some people just have towards the movie in particular, but I can understand if it's like for some people that are, Superman lore enthusiasts and purists and stuff like that. Like I will 100% understand why people would take umbrage with the film with problems and everything. But from my perspective, from a normie perspective, I enjoyed it. So
yeah, let's see really quick here. I just want to on the record, I just want to check and see Bizarro. Superboy Volume 1, number 68, October 1958. Base Hell 6'3", that's my height, 255. Powers, super strength, speed, flight, and vulnerability, enhanced breath and vision capabilities. Okay, Bizarro is a Frankenstein-like monster with a heart of gold. Although he was originally created by Lex Luthor, he has gone on to prove that he has a moral character far superior to that of his mad scientist father, possessing many Kryptonian abilities, albeit warped and twisted. This heroic clone of Superman fights for truth, justice, and the Bizarro way. Trying to see if it says a perfect clone of Bizarro, or if Bizarro is a perfect clone of Superman. Wanting Superman of his own, to command Lex mapped Superman's genome and eventually found limited success in Subject BO, a clone that would possess the full range of powers of the last son of Krypton. When Earth was conquered by the crime syndicate of Earth 3, Luthor was forced to unleash his last experimental subject far too early in its developmental phase, approximately 5 years before the clone would be a perfect Superman duplicate. This rather incoherent creature called itself Bizarro and remained loyal to Luthor until its death at the hands of Earth 3's Alexander Luthor. Interesting.
Damn.
So I guess in a roundabout way, it was a perfect premature and perfect clone. I don't know. Superman Red Sun really fleshes. I mean, that really shows that he was 100% created by Lex Luthor.
I haven't.
I'll let you borrow it. It's a fantastic comic. It's Mark Millar.
Well, they also didn't they animate it as well? Is the animated?
But don't. Oh, yeah, no, it's absolute trash. No, absolutely not. Because in the comic, if I get this right, Superman chokes Stalin and raises him up and basically uses his heat vision. He basically shoots his heat vision through Stalin's head and it kills him. And in the movie, Stalin basically dies of like arsenic poisoning. But in the comic, Superman,
it's a lot more brutal.
Red Sun, well, he kind of follows, or he's kind of being bred and has a relationship with Stalin. So you can't have in the movie, you can't have Superman, America's greatest superhero, be following Russian propaganda. But yeah, so it's no, don't watch the movie. Don't.
Okay.
And this is
avoid the
I
movie at
will.
all costs. Gotcha.
You can watch it, but I'm telling you, like when they did that, I was like, that's terrible. Like you literally,
I have it up right now. I'll read it for next week and we can discuss it.
oh, so good, so good. Like just like if I had to, it's like it's Darkseid shooting his Omega beams through somebody's head and just absolutely just frying them from the inside out. Like it's amazing. So yeah, and also like there was what was it, Superman? I don't know if it was Doom or Blood, but it's basically like, so it was there's a comic, Tower of Babel, where Batman he created a contingency plan to take out the Justice League in the event that they were compromised, and he kept it in the Bat computer. And Ra's al Ghul ends up hacking into the Bat computer and stealing the plans, and he ends up trying to take out somewhat successfully starts taking out the Justice League. But DC did a animated movie where Vandal Savage was the one that stole the plans from Batman, and that's just, I was like, no, that's like, I'm not a huge Vandal Savage guy. Like I don't know a lot about him, but like no, Ra's al Ghul was the one
hearing about him. So
yeah. Ra's al Ghul is the one that hacked in the Bat computer, which should be unheard of, stole the plans and started taking out the Justice League. And then the Justice League were all mad and upset that like Batman had these plans. And it's like, why are you mad at him? Like if you guys were ever compromised, like nobody's ever going to take you out. So don't be mad at him. It's not my fault you're allergic to kryptonite. Don't get mad at me, right? It's not my fault that Aquaman, you gotta be subject to water. Don't get mad at me if you're just out of water for long periods of time and dehydrated like SpongeBob.
Dehydrated
So
like SpongeBob.
that's a really good comic too. Like you should Tower of Babel. It's a fantastic comic, absolutely fantastic. Just shows my opinion. I could be wrong, but Ra's is the one that was able to really rival Batman's, like Bruce's intelligence. Next, Joker was obviously like, it's hard to top Joker, but Ra's played a very quintessential role in Batman's in his life. So,
well, got to pick one thing at a time here. So
all of them, both. Do Red Sun. Red Sun's really good. Red Sun.
Okay,
I mean, if you
there
like,
we go. That's what I'm looking for. Let's get some solid answers here.
if you like Vladimir Putin, man, you gotta read Red Sun.
Oh God. Even Melissa Lord here said she says I saw the movie, then read the comic, and the comic is better, of course.
Oh,
all right.
Yes.
That just helps solidify it even more. I mean, I figured as much, but always good to get an extra confirmation.
Don't get me wrong. DC, like, they own the animation. They own it, but that movie was, they should just stuck with the comic. Also, Killing Joke. Killing Joke is one of my probably my favorite comic of all time, by Alan Moore. But the animated movie was freaking Bruce having a relationship with freaking Oracle. Like, no.
Oh God, yeah.
No. When are we doing that? So.
Yeah.
I just want to preface this also by saying these are comics that are of an older nature. They're not like,
okay.
They're probably within the last couple. I don't know how many years. I'd have to look it up. But
I
stay away from.
I have no shade.
Stay away from modern.
Stay away from what?
Modern comics. Anything in the
last. That's what I basically.
Also, stay away from Eric Bly's comics. They're terrible too.
Gotcha.
So I got So
okay.
You said 7 out of 10. I think that So what would you? Well, and then you got to watch Superman because I'm curious to see what you're.
Poor Decrepit. He's like, don't get me started on the Killing Joke movie. And he's like, stop him! Don't remind me. It's so bad.
Yeah. Oh,
isn't it? what was it? Bruce, is it Bruce Timm, the guy that was in charge of that? Is this like his own disguised fetish going on there with him getting Batgirl to get all sexed up by Batman?
I don't know.
I don't
It's
know
just
either. I've
terrible.
just heard so much goofy shit in regards to
No,
the,
and like
to
I
the
told, like
animated.
this. Listen, you cannot take a comic that revolutionized. I mean, again? Everything I say is subjective, right? But like this comic is Alan Moore, in my opinion, revolutionized a lot of the comic book industry between Killing Joke and Swamp Thing, and you can't take, if you're going to do that, if you're going to have the audacity to, well, I don't want to say audacity, but if you're going to have the gumption, the chutzpah to make this comic into a movie, you need to do it right. And that's whether it's DC, whether it's Marvel, whether like whatever it is, if you're going to do that. Because in my opinion, I will always hold books and movies as the original content before the actual movie, unless the movie was, then made into a comic. Typically movies precede the comic or the book, right? So if you're going to do that, you need to be sure you knock it out of the park, because if you don't, you will forever be known as the guy that botched this project. So I don't want to see Batman do it with Barbara Gordon. That's super weird, because Jim Gordon's like a stepdad to Bruce. I want to see that.
They get into
It's
some
almost
weird stuff sometimes.
it's almost as bad as what they did with the Flash, where it's like, Jim Gordon's version of Flash's dad. He was the cop, and it was basically it was the Jim Gordon of like the Flash. But in the show, like Iris's dad adopted Barry, but Barry then had this forever crush on Iris.
You are angering Decrepit.
I'm saying, yes, he's like, you basically are falling in love with your sister.
No, here's the chain of things. Decrepit had said Alan Moore did the comic. It was butchered by the film version. Tried to sell it to us by having Conroy and Hamill, but no. Alan Moore on Miracle Man, epic. Hitman knows, but also then said, "Stop saying it. It didn't really happen, Hitman."
Yeah. So it did happen, and then I can't watch it. Like every time, I'm like, I mean,
well, and that was was a storyline everybody was waiting for them to do, especially to have Conroy and Hamill voice the roles.
Fine.
Like
that's
everybody
fine.
was waiting for
Barbara
that,
Gordon out of it.
But that was just it. Then they had to add in these weird subplots, and you're just like, but why? you had the perfect formula to make it great, and you fucked it up.
Oh, because they're like, don't turn your back on me. I thought you wanted to have, like, no. I'm angry. You have angered me bringing this Killing Joke up.
You got into that yourself. You're the one that started bringing it up. No, I didn't.
No, I just answered your questions, and you brought up the Killing Joke and Barbara Gordon, aka Oracle, knocking the old work boots with freaking Bruce on the roof.
Now I'm confused. I thought you were the one launching in the
No, you
Killing
did it.
Joke.
Oh, I answered your question. Yes.
What was my question to you?
I'm so mad I don't remember. I'm so mad I don't remember.
Oh, okay. Okay.
God, ruined it. I'm with Decrepit. I'm angry.
Marvel Pierce here is saying, "Give in to your hate-it, man."
Well, and what's interesting is I need to get more. I need to start watching more of Marvel Pierce, his stuff. But it's like I want to see Marvel Pierce get just as amped up over Marvel stuff. But like the equivalent of like I get mad at Batman. I want to see Marvel Pierce just go crazy off some of. I mean, I don't know. I'm not a Marvel guy, but if I was to bet my next paycheck, I would say that Marvel doesn't get any movies as close to the comics. That might be subjective. Maybe they do. I don't know. Oh gosh, Doomsday. Why did you have to bring in Killing Joke? We could have talked about any other comic other than Killing Joke.
Oh, God.
Do you see how messed up that is? Like Jim Gordon literally is like a stepfather to Bruce, a father figure, because he didn't have a father. He did have a father figure, but he obviously had a dad that he saw killed. But Jim Gordon was kind of filled that void. That's weird.
I'm trying
It's
to
wrong.
Oh God! Oh lordy!
I gotta look this up. I really quick. Did Batman?
Oh, so if you want kind of certainly a very, at least for certainly the Spider-Man fans, something that'll get them fuming is to start talking about One More Day and what that did to Spider-Man's history and everything. And it's just been downhill ever since then. Oh,
He had the relationship with Dick Grayson. That's right. Not Batman. It was with Dick.
wait, what?
It was Nightwing. No,
What
so
about
that's why everybody is that's why typically like people are just angry with the Killing Joke movie because Barbara Gordon was romantic with Dick Grayson.
Yeah, yeah.
Not Batman.
No, Batman
who was kind of again a father figure to Dick Grayson. So it's like Barbara kind of had sex with Grandpa. Almost because Batman was again, you can make the argument that Batman is a father figure to all the Robins.
I love that you're just still going with this now too.
What do you mean? I'm still going with it. That's why oh gosh. It's like Poison Ivy having like wanting to do it with Harley Quinn.
Decrepit. Oh, she got some dick, all right. Damn.
Dick Grayson.
Oh boy. Marvel Pierce is taunting. He's like, "Your Jedi weapon. Use it. I am unarmed. Strike me down."
I'm angry.
He said, "Oh, Marvel Pierce says I've crossed well into the land of apathy, Hitman. But I did suggest Fantastic Four leaning into all the real lore and leaving the trip to TAA2. I don't know what TAA2 is. And the space chase would have been a really good film, actually." Huh.
Fantastic Four was butchered with the whole Galactus thing, man. Oh my goodness.
I haven't watched it. I don't know. So wait, did you go and see? Did you go and see it?
Well, we'll discuss this after the show, but I will just say,
no,
that, Pedro Pascal did not play the role of a man. Vanessa Kirby played the role of the man. Galactus was an utter utter disaster. Silver Surfer was, you couldn't tell if Silver Surfer was a woman or a dude that had man boobs. Galactus was always known to, he could change his shape, he could control his shape and whatnot, and the whole let's just remain a giant for no reason. Oh God. And I'm a Marvel guy. I'm a Marvel fan, and I was like, what is going on in this movie?
Decrepit saying Pedro is such a miscast. He's miscast in everything. They need to stop casting him in things in general.
Like totally. Like here's the thing: give me Chris Evans, Johnny Storm, Jessica Alba. Rest in peace to the guy who played Doctor Doom. I heard he passed July 2nd from cancer, but that is no pun intended. That was a fantastic movie compared to this monstrosity that they released. And then again, I don't get it. I don't understand because it's like this needs to be our next t-shirt. You had the blueprint. You had it's so bad. Like if you're gonna bring in Galactus, right? And again, I don't know a lot about Galactus, but like if you're gonna bring in this level of a villain, do the thing right. Let's actually have a fight. For goodness sake. I mean, you would just get a womp womp burger. A nothing burger. Well, you're doing this story. You're bringing in potentially. It's not even potentially. You're bringing in the strongest and most powerful character in all of Marvel, Franklin Richards. Like, and that's not an opinion. That is a undisputable fact. Franklin Richards is the most powerful person, whatever you will, in entire Marvel, right?
Mm-hmm.
And if you're going to go this route, just and I don't even want to watch Doomsday or Dooms, whatever it is. With Robbie, I don't even want to watch that because these two movies are going to be linked. We already know it's going to be linked.
Yeah. Oh, without a doubt. Without a doubt.
Go watch it. Oh God, I was just
are we going to talk about it next week?
Oh, absolutely. So
yes,
God damn absolutely. It. Yeah,
God
no, this is your payback. You brought up Killing Joke. I'm bringing up Fantastic Four. We're gonna invite Star Wars Marvel purist on the show next week. We're all gonna have a good go.
Oh God, Lord have mercy.
It's bad, man. If I had gone to see it, it would be bad.
Wait, you haven't even seen it.
What? No, I'm just what.
You said if I had gone to see it, it would have been bad.
I'm just speaking in generalities. Maybe I did, maybe I didn't. If I had gone to see it, just like I'm saying, like if I had watched Duet, which I'm not saying I did, but if I did, fantastic, greatest episode of DS9 I've ever watched.
Okay, I follow now. I see. Okay,
No,
I remember that saga.
And then Star Wars Marvel Pierce is going to get an invite. It is.
Oh God.
Worse than dog water on a hot day.
Marvel Pierce is saying he didn't go to see it. Yeah, he did. Have you learned how to get stuff from old Captain Jack, Hitman?
Nope. I have a hole in my boat. There's a hole in my ship. Stop blowing holes in my ship.
Oh God.
It's bad. It is like cringe level women power, just bad.
I heard some of that from Gal. She ranted about it before we did one of the weekend pre-games, and I started asking her. I was like, because she was very visibly frustrated about the movie, and I was like, so go ahead. What was so bad? I don't even remember everything she taught, but like some of the little key points that you brought up were very much what she was venting about.
Take it from somebody, and I kind of feel like a connection, building a small connection with the pure Marvel fans, right, in a sense. But this is coming from a guy who, I've said it before, don't like Marvel, but I will sit there and defend it when it needs to be defended, and that's terrible. Like that's on the same level as some of the I mean, that's probably as bad as Black Adam or Blue Beetle, probably worse, honestly.
And I have seen neither of those, and I'm happy for that.
Yeah, man, I'm so excited for you to watch it. It is gonna, like, you're gonna want your chair to break again. You're gonna want to
no, I don't want to break another chair. I don't want to break another chair.
That's the only way that you're gonna get out of watching the movie. So it's so bad, man, so bad. Oh gosh. And then because we reviewed the trailer, right? Remember that? We reviewed it?
Yeah.
That's nothing. That's nothing compared to what you're going to be having to go through. The trailer was fantastic compared to the whole movie. That's how bad the movie is. If I had gone to see it, right? If I had, that's how bad the movie is.
All right. I guess I have more homework to do. I have a
But
comic.
when you watch it,
I have a
though,
comic to read, and I have a shitty movie to
Yeah.
watch.
listen, but when you watch it, you have to wear a turtleneck.
What? Why?
You have to wear. You'll see, but you have to wear a turtleneck while you watch the movie. That's the condition.
That's the requirements to
Or
endure
have Chief,
this.
yeah, or have
No.
Chiefster wear a turtleneck. I know he's got turtlenecks.
You do? How would you know my brother's wardrobe? That's a little weird, dude.
The master never reveals all of his secrets to the apprentice.
Okay. I stand by my.
Just
That's a
remember,
little weird, dude.
you don't have to wear one, but just channel in like The Rock, fanny pack, turtleneck. Like
Okay.
you'll see why.
Gotcha.
And I will test you. I will know if you didn't watch it or not because I will ask very specific questions. If I had gone, right, I would ask questions. Based
Right.
off, if I had gone.
Decrepit says, just wear the turtleneck and don't ask questions, filter. Okay.
Yeah, Decrepit. Thank you. Good. I am unarmed. Strike me down.
Greg asks, the ambient temperature impacts the quality of dog water?
I see what you did there.
Decrepit said, I'm a DC fanatic but love Spider-Man and his story. He's the best hero in Marvel, in my opinion. Marvel Pure said, Black Adam probably better than Superman 2025. Would you agree or disagree?
Why would you do that? Who asked that?
Star Wars Marvel Purist. He didn't ask it. He stated it.
Oh, he stayed. Oh man. Oh man, I don't want to. I don't want no. Oh, I don't want to choose. I hate Black Adam. With a why? I was trying to be nice and help defend Marvel. No, no. And I'm not gonna be able to sleep tonight. That's dirty. That's dirty pool. Because I know how bad Black Adam was. Oh, gosh, I think I'd have to say Superman. I hate Black Adam. I despise that movie.
Pure says, search your feelings. You know it to be true.
And no, I'm not racist. Just because I want
Dr. Fate is greater than Mr. Terrific.
Yes.
Well, I think I don't even know
Pierce
the character,
Brosnan.
but I'm gonna say that I agree.
Yeah, I mean the only
got
good thing
good
about
genes.
that movie,
Yes.
yes, the best genes.
The best genes.
The best genes. Have you seen him in jeans? Fantastic. That I mean that was the only good part about the whole movie was Pierce Brosnan as Dr. Fate.
Oh God!
You just take just really quick before we move on. Just let that marinate in your head.
Let what?
You have
marinate?
a just what I'm about to say.
Okay.
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 Teth Adam. Okay. I'm gonna set the tone here. Teth Adam, Middle Eastern, Kandahar, not Kandahar. Kadar. Is it Kadar? It's not Kandahar. Kandahar is a real play. I think it's Kadar. Right. Teth Adam, Middle Eastern, Kadar. Okay. And then you bring in Dwayne The Rock Johnson, son of Rocky Johnson, Black Samoan as Black Adam. It's like they didn't even all they saw in the character was black, and that's him. So he can play him, but he's not Middle Eastern. But it's okay because he's black, Samoan. Not even the fact that The Rock cannot act. The only acting The Rock can do in any type of capacity is in a ring. That is it. In a ring,
I remember
nobody touches him.
I forgot. I think it was like one of the old clips before I deleted it. In the comments, it was somebody was reading about us commenting about Rock and having shitty acting. I'm like, and I even he's saying we were wrong, but I'm like, dude, the only thing he can do is he can cut a good promo, but that's about it. And even
You're
then,
gonna sit-
and even then, like that's usually still scriptwriters giving him shit to
You're gonna
say.
sit
And
there and tell you know what you should have responded with, whoever this Yahoo was. You should have asked him. You're gonna tell me this guy was who the Rundown was a fantastic movie. I want to run down the street into traffic after watching the Rundown.
oh, that's right. Dan Blackroyd points out The Rock played an Egyptian before with the Scorpion King. He's right. He did.
He did.
He did. He was the Scorpion King. He stands alone.
You want the Rundown? I just no. He can't, and he cannot. No, he can cut a promo left and right. He cannot act. Stone Cold Steve Austin's a better actor than him.
Damn.
Well, I love Stone Cold, so I mean, it's if you're saying Tina Morello,
Hell
it's
yeah.
cold. No, man. So I don't even know where we're going with that. The fact that Marvel,
it was fun anyways.
I think he's goading me. I don't think Marvel Pierce really thinks Black Adam is better than Superman. I think he's just trying to just. I think he's really just trying to get my brain to explode. Like that is the henosity. I'm going to quote early Christian and Edge, circa 1999. The henosity of that comment. Do you remember Edge and Christian circa 1999?
Was that when were they still in the Brood at that point or no?
It was before the Brood.
Had they broken off?
It was like it was like later. It was like 1998. Oh no, maybe it was no. Yeah, it was after the Brood. I'm sorry. Yes, and they were like, "That's an awesomeness," and they just came up with like crazy words. But henosity, root word of heinous. It was heinous, and they were like the henosity of what's going on. Like you should feel how I feel with like Tom Holland level acting of like that would be like the equivalent of like, well, no, that's probably a bad example. What was a Marvel movie that just didn't make any sense as far as like casting? I don't know.
God,
I said this last week, and I said it probably the week before. It's not just The Rock. I think Jason Momoa is a horrendous Aquaman. Not only from an acting standpoint, not even from an acting standpoint, but he didn't fit the bill.
No, the one thing I've liked Jason Momoa in, and that was Stargate Atlantis.
Stargate. Well, I've not watched Stargate Atlantis, but it's like, what would be a good Marvel movie that just botched it with casting as far as like in regards to like ethnicity?
I don't know if this is what Marvel Pierce is responding to, but he says the Eternals.
Oh dear. I heard Eternals was so bad that like their toys went on clearance before the movie had even hit theaters.
I don't know. Maybe.
I don't know. I heard Eternals was not good, but again, I don't even know. I didn't watch it. I think I stopped watching Marvel after like the female version of Captain America. Stargirl, whatever her. It was Brie.
Captain Marvel.
Yeah, I stopped watching after that.
But you saw Endgame in the.
Yeah, but she came after that. She was in between. Oh, sorry, Marvel Pierce. I didn't mean to misquote you. Sorry, dude. What was it?
I misquoted him.
Oh. Oh, it was after. Are you sure? I don't remember. I did watch Infinity War.
Captain Marvel was sandwiched was either sandwiched in between Infinity War. No. She came before. I think she was before Infinity War, but she was like right before that, and then they launched into it.
Okay, yeah. Bad nonetheless. You're a sexist. No, I'm not. It's terrible.
Yeah, Decrepit confirms Captain Marvel was before Infinity War and Endgame.
So crazy. I did not know that.
Yep.
That was bad.
I knew she was somewhere in that lineup that they just like threw her in there.
But I don't know, like level of
Go ahead.
well, just as far as casting goes, I'll have to do some research.
So to get God, I don't even know where to go anymore. What the hell? Where have we gone with these conversations?
It was like Sunday all over again, man. I love it.
Marvel Pure says they shoehorned her movie in between to make the movie seem essential or required. Oh, see, I wasn't sure. So yeah, Captain Marvel was in between Infinity War and Endgame.
Mm.
And he says that's why it made $1 billion, because they made it seem like it was a necessity to watch.
Probably not.
And Melissa Lord says they lied and said you had to see Captain Marvel to understand Endgame. I guess only her introduction into that movie, yeah.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's like fuck all. I didn't watch her movie, and I didn't feel like I was missing out on anything.
I think that'd be an interesting, I guess, topic would be, what do you think the last great Marvel movie was?
I honestly don't know. I don't know what would
you have to pick. You have 10 seconds.
God, I don't know, dude.
You could pick any movie from Phase 1 before I don't know if there's anyone before. I guess that Hulk was before Phase 1, but any movie, what do you think the greatest was?
Well, of course,
you can choose it.
Dan Blackroyd's going to say Thunderbolt.
Of course.
Decrepit says Winter Soldier. Star Wars Marvel Purist and Melissa Lord both say Infinity War.
Infinity War was okay. That was before Endgame. Okay.
And Briscoe, I haven't seen any of these movies you're talking about. Good man.
Good man. You can say the Tobey Maguire Batman if you want, or Tobey Maguire Super whatever Spider-Man.
Okay, I didn't know what my options were, so I'll go with the
any Marvel. I mean,
you said any Marvel. Okay.
Well, hold on. Was Tobey Maguire technically Marvel or Sony? It's still, you could still include it.
Well, Melissa Lord is even saying Far From Home and Wolverine and Deadpool don't really count. Damn.
Okay, well then they don't.
Shit. I was gonna say I was gonna go that route and say Wolverine.
You can.
Deadpool.
I mean, I'm not gonna be as cruel as to say you can only pick Kevin Feige movies.
Oh God. But the thing is, I haven't watched all the Marvel movies, so I don't know. Can I just say the first season of Daredevil?
No, that's terrible. How dare you? Which one? The one where they killed off Foggy?
No, the first season, the first initial season. I'll say that was the better Marvel slop.
That's a show. You can't use a movie.
God, that's why I was asking if I could.
Oh, you gotta do a movie out of the ones that you've watched. I swear though, if you say, what did we review? The Spider-Man, the ones we watched with Miles Morales.
Oh, the fucking animated Into the Spider-Verse. Yeah, those were horrible.
Yeah, they were not great. Yeah,
I would not.
Go ahead.
I'm count those.
I'm so excited to hear your answer.
The first Iron Man movie, maybe. That's probably one of their better.
Is it the best?
The best? I mean, I haven't watched all of the movies.
So the best out of the ones that you've watched.
Of the ones that I've watched, yeah, I would probably say the Iron, because I'm even putting it over. Well, I guess if I can't include Spider-Man, because even then I had my fucking problems with the Homecoming fucking Spider-Man movie. So, yeah, I'll probably say like the first Iron Man movie was actually solid and legit.
Okay. You're going with Iron Man.
I'll go with Iron Man. First Iron Man movie.
Okay. Very good. I'm surprised you said Tobey Maguire, but I forgot that I guess Tobey Maguire was done by Sony.
Yeah.
Is that correct? Yeah.
You are correct, sir.
Just still weird because it's like, is it Marvel? Is it not Marvel? Like, who owns Spider-Man? Who doesn't own Spider-Man? Gets in kind of that weird territory.
It does get into some weird territory, yes.
So really quick, and if you want to stop, tell me you want to stop. But what is one comic what is one of your beloved comics that they have just botched on screen or on movie? Either on movie or...
Hang on really quick. Melissa Lord, I do not see that as a hot take. I agree. I also hate the Holland Spider-Man movies. They are freaking trash. I did not like any of them. They're a waste of time. There was only glimmering moments, only for fan service in the third one. But that was it. Otherwise, it was one obnoxiously long origin story that did not need to take place. And it could fuck right off. So, not a hot take in this neck of the woods.
What was the hot take?
She said that she hated the Holland Spider-Man movies.
Oh yeah, they're trash, terrible.
So
He's the worst.
It's not a hot take in these parts.
No,
I am fully on board with that.
He's the worst Spider-Man. I think the best Spider-Man. We've had this argument. I think
character.
No.
He was
I think the best Peter Parker.
Iron Boy. It's true. He's Iron Boy Jr.
Yeah, I think the best Peter Parker, Tobey Maguire, best Spider-Man, Andrew Garfield.
Certain extent, I kind of agree with that, but I'm just more for Tobey Maguire. I love the Raimi Spider-Man movies because at least that was coming from a guy that actually liked Spider-Man.
But do you like it because of the villains, or do you like it because of? I think we've talked about this.
Again, I have
the depiction of the villains. Is that why you like it, or do you actually like?
I thought Tobey Maguire made a great Spider-Man, and I thought he worked well with the sarcastic quips and stuff like that. Willem Dafoe was a fantastic Norman Osborn and Green Goblin. I just wish they went with the more practical look for Green Goblin instead of the whole like body armor suit thing. But the helmet does look pretty cool. I won't lie. He was fantastic. Like he was fantastic as in that role.
You like Tobey Maguire? I know we've talked about this probably repeatedly, but so you're saying that you like Tobey both as Peter Parker and Spider-Man. You put him above Andrew Garfield?
So here's the thing. There's a reason for part of this too. Is because Tobey also voiced the character in the movie adaptation video games. Like he did it for all three of them. He was there. He was way more connected than any Spider-Mans after him, and probably before him. At least in terms of like live action acting, like he not only played him in the movies, but then he played Peter / Spider-Man in the video games as well. And I felt that brought so much more of a connection to him for his character than any of the others. Even Andrew Garfield didn't appear to voice the character. He didn't voice the character in the Amazing Spider-Man video games either. He was non-existent. Neither did Tom Holland. He didn't do it for the fucking Insomniac Spider-Man games, or at least they didn't bring him in for it at all, so he wasn't a part of it. But like, there's no extra connection to that. So Tobey, I'd say, had more of the time to be the character than any of them, and that's why I certainly liked his iteration above the rest.
Interesting.
Yes. And hello, Jordan Star Wars saying, terrific takes. I agree, everyone. I can't stand any of it. Just like the classic Marvel and DC comics. Hail Fractured Filter, Hitman, Marvel Purist, Melissa Lord, and Decrepit. Everyone, welcome aboard, sir. But yeah.
I just don't like. I just think Andrew Garfield played a better Spider-Man.
Wait, what was that?
I just think Andrew Garfield I just think Garfield played a much better Spider-Man, and I think Peter Parker. Oh my gosh, Maguire played a better Peter Parker. If you could somehow get a hybrid between the two, then I think you're cooking what you're sucking diesel, as the Irish say.
Interesting.
And then Tom Holland just needs to just go away. That's interesting. There's this is a tired old argument, but I think that the villains that were portrayed in Maguire's Sam Raimi's, I think Sam Raimi hit it on the head. I think they're the most accurate. And again, this is going to be super subjective because I haven't read the comics, but I remember growing up, being exposed to, the video games and whatnot. But I think villains, Sam Raimi hits it on the head. Minus Sandman. I think he's just terrible. I think the third one should never have happened, but I think the characters absolutely.
Are you saying Lowell from Wings did not make a good Sandman, sir? How dare
No. Lowell needs to stick with Wings. The villains, and I don't know who did the Andrew Garfield the Amazing Spider-Man, but villains, I did not like the villains. I know
the villains
different.
they were horrible in the Amazing Spider-Man.
No, yeah,
except for I didn't mind the Lizard. The Lizard wasn't bad. I know a lot of people had a problem with it, but it wasn't bad.
Yeah,
but I do agree that he should have been more smaller in humanoid form and stuff. But otherwise, I didn't think he was terrible as Lizard.
Yeah. So
I think Jamie Foxx was very miscast as Electro.
Yeah. Wasn't Electro white in the comimics?
Yes, Electro
not
was white in the comics.
Okay. Just not being super critical, just asking. Kind of crazy, but oh well. He also was green, not blue, I thought. Correct?
Yeah, he had a green suit, green and yellow suit.
Yeah, not blue.
No, he was not blue.
Yeah. See, this is why I just have issues. I'm like, I just don't get it. Like you could have made just whatever, stupid. So I don't know what my favorite Marvel movie. I'm a sucker for Thor. I really like the Thor. I didn't obviously like the third one because it seems that there's a consistent theme here. Like Iron Man 1, fantastic. Iron Man 2, really, really good. Iron Man 3, trash. Thor 1, fantastic. Thor 2, I liked it. I liked the story between Loki and Thor, and then Ragnarok, trash. It's like Captain America, fantastic. The second one, enjoyable. Third one, atrocious. Like there's a common theme within Marvel. And it's the same thing with DC's. Batman Begins, the creme de la creme, right?
Oh, Captain America Civil War?
Yeah. I liked it.
Wait, what was the third one then? It would have been Captain America, and then Captain America Winter Soldier, and then Captain America Civil War.
No, isn't it? Say that again. It was Captain America, Winter Soldier.
Yeah, it was the first Avenger, Captain America, and then it was Captain America, Winter Soldier. I'm pretty sure.
I thought
Civil War.
The force.
No, because then they're chasing is the continuing chase after Bucky and everything, and
oh yeah, you might be correct. Yeah. Then I'd say I really did like Civil War. So that might be the exception.
I thought it was okay, but I think they
that
was an early sign of Marvel jumping ahead to certain things that they just should not have done.
No, and you are correct in that. I think that the part that I hated about Civil War was I don't like Tom Holland as Spider. I think he's annoying. That's why I just don't like.
That was probably the most accurate version of Spider-Man we got. Was in those few scenes.
No.
That was it. And then after that, with the shitty 3 movies, those were trash.
Really, you think that is the most accurate representation?
I believe, yeah. I think it was pretty close.
Really,
for his style of fighting and stuff like that, because he's always bantering with the people that he's fighting to throw them off, keep himself centered. It's the whole thing. So
I can't argue. I'm not an authority on it, but that's interesting. So from a fighting style, Not necessarily like Peter Parker himself, but from a fighting standpoint.
The Spider-Man perspective, yes, that was him.
Oh gosh, that's interesting.
And then they like nerfed him in the following movies. It was really weird.
It's very, but he was very comical fighting in Civil War, like with the thing with Falcon.
Yeah,
was
that's
fighting?
what he.
Yeah.
That's what he. Spider-Man is somebody that will banter with his villains, banter with the people that he's fighting against, because to him that's like his way of kind of staying focused in the fight, while then and also trying to throw off the people that he's fighting with, because he's talking to them and is distracting them, and also insulting them and making them possibly slip up, especially when he throws a bunch of fat jokes at Kingpin.
Very interesting.
Yeah, they even did that in the 90s Spider-Man animated series, where I remember some fat jokes being thrown at Kingpin and stuff. It was great. I need to rewatch that series again.
I'd like to see him do it. I'd like to see him throw those jokes at like the I always forget the guy's character. Well, I forget his name, but he plays Kingpin in the series. He played in Full Metal Jacket.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'd love to see him get made fun of. And I tell you about his character. And I don't know if this is just Kingpin as the character, but D'Onofrio, like I get very much like bipolar vibes. Like you don't know if he's gonna like give you a raise or snap your neck.
Yeah,
in
the series, he's very much like that.
Yeah. Oh, but in the comic though,
not so much.
No. Okay. Yeah.
At least not that I can recall at the moment. Just to give
I still
myself
can't
some
get.
leeway.
I still can't get freaking the Kingpin that we saw out of the Enter the Spider-Verse, like the big fat looking guy with the small head.
Well, I mean that's kind of to a certain extent that's Kingpin's look, yeah. But that was a little more exaggerated than the comics.
Yeah.
But that's kind of like he almost looks a little disproportionate at times.
Just a little bit.
It'll depend on the artist too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So wasn't a fan.
Even Marvel Purist is saying Black Panther is actually way better in Civil War than his own movie. And then he said Kingpin was originally a Spider-Man villain, but Frank Miller made him iconic in his Daredevil comic run.
Really?
Yeah, and Dan Blackroyd was also saying how Civil War is a direct sequel to Winter Soldier. Marvel Purist says he liked Thor 2 more than Ragnarok, although Kate Blanchett was great as Hela in his opinion.
Yeah.
She cut through the goofiness, apparently. I haven't watched that one. I've only seen the first Thor movie. Of course, Dan Blackroyd is saying No Way Home fixed that. Kevin solves all the problems Sony makes. Of course. Marvel Purist says he didn't. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just saying credit to was it not Far From It? Was Far From Home or the first Spider-Man? Whatever the Spider-Man was with his Ted or Ned, has re-sparked my love of wanting to get the Death Star, the Lego Death Star.
Oh, yeah. I think that was Homecoming.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I don't know if I'm going to be able to wash that taste out of my mouth when you said that that's the most accurate representation, because I hate Tom Holland as Spider-Man.
Oh, I do too. Believe me, he is not my favorite. He is not by no means my favorite.
Yeah.
Melissa Lord, lol, Wings. I love that show. Tim Daly was funny. That's again another show I'll have to rewatch one of these days. Is Wings. I love that show growing up. I remember watching it as a kid. It was great. And then it was always funny.
Was Tony Shalhoub in Wings too, or no?
Huh?
Tony Shalhoub, was he in Wings?
Yeah, he was in Wings later on. Yeah.
Okay.
He came in as he was the foreigner cab driver. I forgot where he was supposed to be from. His character, that is.
Yeah, I'm not sure. He wasn't a taxi driver, was he?
He was yeah, that's what he was a cab driver.
Okay,
Taxi driver,
yeah.
whatever.
It was a great show. We'll never get that level of oh my goodness. I'm sending this to you.
Uh-oh.
In Discord. Oh gosh. This is terrible. Where's Brad?
Where are you putting it?
And showing the links.
Okay. Well, then what's funny too is I believe it's yeah, Tim Daly, I believe, went and didn't he end up voicing Superman? Yeah, he did he's done the voice for Superman in the animated show from back in the day.
Did he really?
Yeah, he did.
Pop into Dermy's feed. I sent it. I don't know if you saw it yet.
Why would you post this? Now I have to torture everyone else with this.
I didn't pay. It came on my feed.
Oh wait, I thought I did.
There's just send it to static.
I don't know why you would do this to the people. What have they done to you?
Blue-eyed, white-haired, well, gray-haired. You telling me you didn't think that would be funny?
There you go. For everyone else, this is what Hitman sent to me. Feast your eyes upon it, everybody.
Who would you rather look at, him or Sweeney Todd lady?
God. Oh, God. That's just wrong on so many levels.
Actually has that outfit or what?
All of the above.
Yeah.
Sustain the street actions.
Funny.
What was that?
Twitter.
What was that you had on in the background?
Twitter.
Oh God. The Twitters.
Just trying to start World War III over here.
Oh, you goofy boy. Yeah, Decrepit. That's who he meant. Decrepit is Lamau. You mean Sydney Sweeney?
Yeah.
Sweeney Todd lady. Yeah. Dan Blackroyd confirms he's been Superman in a lot of shows. Dan Blackroyd says, I don't think Sydney Sweeney is a barber. No, she's not. Pretty sure she's not.
Could be. Never
For all we know, she could be, yes. Unless, do you have anything else, Hitman, that you want to get into? Or
no, I think my blood pressure's gone kind of down from. You still haven't answered the question. Like, what is your one of your most beloved comics that they just absolutely built on
comics
screen?
on screen?
Well, just anything. If there's anything, like my Killing Joke that you brought up.
Oh, trying to think, because like it is.
Where's our Australia? Where's our Australia? I can't even talk. Where at? Oh my goodness! When I have a stroke. Where are our Australian followers? Because I need to know.
Dan Blackroyd's been here the whole time.
Oh, Dan Blackroyd. I need to know if Vegemite is something I need to try tonight.
Do you have some?
Don't ask questions.
Oh God.
Don't concern yourself with these questions.
You know, you've already injured your back. Do you really need to injure your taste buds too?
I heard that it's actually not bad.
I've heard that as
But I
well.
need
You
to
have
know.
to prepare it in a certain way, apparently.
How do you?
Or at least
prepare
certainly
it? You
not
just can't
use
just
a
take
lot of it.
Just don't take it out of the jar and just take a whole spoonful of it. Don't Mary Poppins it. A spoonful of sugar helps the medicine go down.
Never heard that, but okay.
Spoonful of Vegemite helps. No, we're not gonna get on this Australia kick because that consumed the whole show last week. Your love of Australia, so no, don't bring it up.
You are an odd one sometimes. You really are.
Mean. I'm an odd
I
one.
mean it in the most kindly way.
It's very kind.
I do what I can.
No, I don't think so. Because, yeah. Are you gonna answer the question? Is it an answerable question though, as far as the comic book, or is there anything that you had? I don't know how I want to frame the question.
Not direct story adaptations that I could really think of. You know, for me particularly. Yeah. I mean, I other than what you've already pointed out with the whole, you know, jokey thing.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's the only thing I could really think of specifically too, because like it is, not a lot of Spider-Man. Like for me, it would. Go ahead.
Well, was Spider-Man Peter Parker a jokester, or was that just Spider-Man fighting style?
That's the Spider-Man. That's the Spider-Man side. Like Parker himself,
but he wasn't like split personality.
No, it's not split personality. It's just how he treats it differently. You know, when he's in the is you know, like it is. He's kind of anonymous, so he could be a little more free with how he expresses
is he really
himself,
anonymous?
So
everybody outs him as Peter Parker.
In the movies, they certainly do.
Freaking Mysterio.
Oh,
was it Mysterio?
God, don't remind me of that stupid fucking movie.
It's outed on national television.
Dude,
so okay, well, what were your thoughts about the Venom movies with Tom Hardy?
I haven't watched any of those. I mean, I have avoided those movies.
I know Venom. Well, I would assume Venom had its own. He has his own comic line, but isn't he directly related to Spider-Man?
That's why I didn't watch them, because to me they didn't make a whole lot of sense, because in order to have Venom, you kind of need Spider-Man to introduce the whole symbiote, and then they basically give the symbiote the inspiration to use those sort of powers. So it doesn't make any sense to not have. Yeah, you can't have one without the other. You needed Spider-Man to help introduce Venom.
What's the direct correlation between Spider-Man and symbiotes? Because the movie with Tom Hardy, they came from outer space.
So yes, Spider-Man originally got the outfit. I think it was Secret War 2. His suit was all torn up, and he was looking for a new one, and he needed a new one basically, and he stumbled upon the symbiote. And then later on, they started to reveal that it was a parasitic organism attached to him, and there's an alien life form. And then he eventually got rid of it, and it attached itself to Eddie Brock, who was the next in line. I mean, that's the only thing that they have right, is that.
So is it fair to say the first Venom was Spider-Man?
Eddie Brock? No, technically, yeah, it was Spider-Man.
But you can't get the symbiote off of you. The symbiote has to fall off of you, or another person.
There are ways. So, like,
in the movie, from my understanding, there was no way to get the symbiote off, even as you were trying to pull it off.
If you use like supersonic sounds of some kind, you can get this, because it's sensitive to high vibration sounds and stuff like that. So that was how Spider-Man got it off of himself originally, was by a bell tower. and as it rung,
Interesting.
and then it gooped down onto Eddie. Because Eddie had lost
And the
his
comics.
he lost and he lost his job, and then it attached to him, and then went
So
out seeking
why was Eddie
revenge
Brock
for
so
against.
bad? So why was he so bad in the movie then? Because that was Spider-Man 3 was terrible.
Hey,
Terrible.
how dare you? How dare you?
It was bad.
Okay, so some of the lore is around that third movie is that Raimi that there's a bunch of different stories. One was that Raimi was only recently introduced to the Venom concept, so he liked it apparently, but then still added it in, but it was felt very forced. The other tales account that it was all studio interference. They wanted more villains, so they used Venom as the next other villain, because originally it was just supposed to be Sandman and Gobby Jr. And those were supposed to be the two main. I mean, the main villain was going to be Sandman, basically.
Well, and I'm not casting stones and I'm not casting stones, if you live in a glass house, but because you can say the same thing with Superman, but Spider-Man 3 felt very like you didn't know, like, who was the main villain in the movie?
Was
it Brock or was it Sandman?
Yeah, because he gets introduced as very later on,
and then I don't know if it's the Sinister Six was actually I don't know if that was in the comics, but I remember
the Sinister
Rhino
Six was the first kind of big faction, I believe.
Yeah.
That Spider-Man
Rhino wasn't in any of the. That's what was kind of crazy. Like Rhino wasn't in any of the.
No,
in any of the movies, and
not in the Raimi Spider-Mans. No,
not Raimi, but in obviously freaking Spider-Man, Amazing Spider-Man 2. And that's why I was so frustrated because we never got the Sinister Six, and it wasn't.
And they keep trying to build towards it too.
Well, that's the thing. It wasn't a cameo. It wasn't like, oh well, this could happen. They were in the basement, and there were 6 suits.
Right,
you saw.
For the Amazing Spider-Man 2, yeah.
Who was the Sinister Six? It was Rhino. Was Falcon a part of it?
Falcon?
Or no?
Oh.
Yeah,
Vulture,
who was this? What was Vulture? I'm sorry, Vulture. Who was the Sinister Six?
Hang on, I'm trying to remember the original 6.
Was there a Scorpion guy?
So it was Doc Ock, who is the leader, Vulture, Electro, Kraven the Hunter, Mysterio, and Sandman.
I don't know Kraven the Hunter. Who is Kraven the Hunter? To look this up.
I mean, it's kind of in the name. He was a hunter, and he was basically moving on to kind of bigger game, and so it's kind of like human hunting.
What was his?
He was a master hunter with enhanced strength and agility. He uses skills to track and fight Spider-Man.
Okay, I just didn't know what he looked like. Okay, so
he's got kind of a cool look to him. Decrepit does say Venom is the symbiote and Eddie together, which correct. But I mean, like, it's like now the symbiote just calls itself Venom at this point, because it's even now attached itself to other people. Flash Thompson and stuff. Because he says the only they them that should ever be called that, Lamau. And then said studio interference. It was only going to be New Goblin and Sandman. Yes, so that was the case.
So what about like Carnage and he brought Scorpion? There's a character by the name of Scorpion in Marvel.
Yes.
Okay, I thought he was part of the Sinister Six. He was not, though. That's Doc Ock. But is Scorpion a Spider-Man villain?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Very good.
He was supposed to be like, I'm trying to remember. I want to say he was kind of because J. Jonah Jameson really had it out for Spider-Man. I believe Scorpion was like partial creation thanks to Jonah.
That was what says that Mac Gargan was initially a private investigator hired by J. Jonah Jameson to investigate Peter Parker. He was subjected to an experimental procedure that gave him scorpion-like abilities, transforming him into a scorpion.
Yep.
Interesting.
Star Wars Marvel Pierce says Kraven's Last Hunt, one of the greatest Spider-Man story arcs. I don't know a Spider-Man fan that doesn't have it in their top 5 runs. It's a good one.
Have you read any Craven the Hunter comics?
I don't think he has solo lines
Yeah.
necessarily.
Oh, does he not?
I don't think so.
Okay.
This has been mostly his interactions with Spider-Man, but he's possibly had some solo runs.
He freaking wears the lion as a coat.
Yeah.
A lion's head as a coat. That's insane. So they did a movie, Craven the Hunter. They did a movie then recently.
Oh yeah,
about
nobody fucking watched that one.
Aaron Taylor Johnson.
Yeah, and he was supposed to be like they tried making him like some vegan or some shit. I don't know. It was weird. Nothing about it sounded good. Yeah, you're correct, Dan Blackray. He says it has changed over the years. New Sinister Six teams have swapped around the roster. Yeah, I was just mainly going for the OG, the ones that started it.
Was Rhino, and I don't want to go on a tangent or off the rails here, but was Rhino, was it a suit, or was he actually like part, like, was he
No, it was just like
part Rhino?
I think like an enhanced suit thing going on, if I remember.
He wasn't an actual like
Rhino, he wasn't like an actual part Rhino or anything.
Well,
he's like a
mobster,
like, and everything. So,
because I'm curious, because there's a Rhino suit in Amazing Spider-Man.
Yes, that's kind of based around the Ultimate Spider-Man universe, where he's in a like robot suit.
Let's see here. I'm very curious. Because, it's funny with I also thought the Juggernaut, I thought he was just his helmet was part of him, but I guess he could take his
he could take it off. Yeah. It's another one of those instances where he has it to protect himself from
so it's interesting. In the comics, it looks like he's an actual like part, right? It doesn't look like an actual
I know the suit makes it look like he's in a suit. He's a big guy in a suit. Or in a costume.
This guy looks like freaking Doomsday in a suit. It doesn't look like a suit, man. He literally looks like he's freaking like part Centaur Rhino. That's interesting. This is like the Spider-Man. Like I used to play the old the PlayStation game.
There's the
Spider-Man.
there's the PlayStation game.
Like the original, or I remember playing one of the first, but I remember specifically it was like a level where I remember you're swinging out of the Daily Bugle, and Venom's swinging after you, and Venom swings after. I think Venom goes first, and I just remember chasing, Venom through the city, and then, but I remember I thought Scorpion was in the game, and maybe Rhino too.
They had Electro in that game and stuff. Yeah,
those are the memories I have of just being really good, and I just don't understand why it's sad.
Decrepit says I have a very beat up, lower than 1.0 grade copy of Craven's first appearance. Nice, man. Marvel Pure says Marvel Pure says I covered Craven's Last Hunt on a live stream, Hitman. If you're familiar with Ernest Hemingway, he was the inspiration for the story. Interesting.
Really?
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
I did not know that.
Craven the Hunter first appearance, Spider-Man 15, The Amazing Spider-Man number 15, published in 1964. I wonder how much that goes for.
I don't know.
Take a guess.
$1 bajillion.
Okay, we'll see if a bajillion comes up. Let's see. 78,000.
Okay. Wow, I overshot it by a lot.
Well, I don't know if this is a reputable site, but I just typed in. So
Decrepit says he spent no more than $200 on it.
Record sale was 78,000. I don't know what it would go for in pristine condition.
Yeah,
it's an interesting cover though. And it has the chameleon in the bottom corner. Some of these covers are just fantastic, man.
Oh, dude, some of the old artwork was awesome.
The Thrill of the Hunt. I don't know if that was one was being referenced. What or you said Craven's Last Hunt?
Yeah.
Okay, is that the most popular?
Mm-hmm. That's a very popular run.
Let's see. See what it goes for. I don't know if like website if there's like a Kelly Blue Book of comics. Let's see.
I
How
can't say
much?
I've looked.
Let's see here. That's stupid.
Star Wars Marvel Purist says Craven's Last Hunt is 15. There's 5 issues, I believe. And Decrepit's confirming it's 5 issues.
5 issues.
Yeah. Definitely worth the read.
Have you read it?
Mm-hmm. It's been a while. I haven't. I mean, it's up there. I just haven't read it in a while. It's been a hot minute.
How'd you rate it?
On a scale?
Yeah.
God, I don't know. Like I said, it's been a while since I've gone through it.
Yeah. It's hard to find a price because there's 5 of them, so it's hard for me to find like how much it was actually going for, but
Damn, Black Royd, no spoilers. Let's see.
what's your favorite villain within Spider-Man? If you haven't,
I'm easy. Like Green Goblin is just for me the tops because he is just kind of like to Joker to Batman.
Yeah,
that's what Norman is to Peter because he's just caused them the most damage throughout time.
Did I ever ask you? Or we ever talk about not to make this whole show about comics, but why did they change it from a bell tower to a bridge, or why did they change it from a bridge to a bell tower when Gwen Stacy died? Because I thought that it was she got thrown over a bridge and then he tried to save her. He thought he did save her, and then when he found out he didn't, that's what was
God, don't. It
was a bridge originally.
So that's always been, even with the Raimi Spider-Man, that's always been one of my pet peeves is that they've changed that up in some way. Like in Sam Raimi's case, it was Mary Jane on the bridge instead of Gwen Stacy, and of course in that Mary Jane lives and everything. No, that's supposed to be such a big pivotal moment because like it is, yeah. Gwen gets thrown from the bridge. Spider-Man tries to, catch her with his webbing, and it just causes him a bunch of issues because he doesn't know what the issue was. Was it because of the way he caught her that snapped her neck? Was he not in time? Was she dead even before he caught her? Like, it brought up so many questions for him.
Does the comic flesh this out or no?
It does flesh it out over time, but like it's supposed to be like this whole thing that he doesn't quite question it. And yeah, like Marvel Pure says her neck also snapped from whiplash, whereas the movie her head hits the ground. It's so definitive. That was what was such an issue for me too. In the movie, yes, because like it's very much he wasn't in time. Whereas, because he's still a young superhero in a sense in the comic books, when that event happens, he doesn't really know what he tries to put his finger on it, but it's a big questioning moment for him. And so it's like, does he need to change? Does he need to refine his style? Does he need to do this? Need to do that? There's a bunch of things that
did he lose his power after that?
No, I don't know. I don't believe that's when he lost his powers, but I do believe that is when he might have quit as Spider-Man for like a short time.
Didn't he lose his powers in the Sam Raimi one? There was like a mental block.
The second movie they did that, where it was kind of like a mental block sort of thing, basically.
And to be
he needed to get his groove back.
and to be clear, he made his webbing. There's nowhere in the comics where he was able to produce them naturally.
Right. The comics, it was he artificially made the webbing. Like he made.
So why did Raimi do that then? Why create a Spider-Man that would naturally produce
never looked into it. I didn't mind that little change. I thought it kind of worked.
Really?
I didn't mind it, but I also understood. I also understood other people's reasoning behind it, because oftentimes him running out of web fluid would be kind of like those extra little story elements to take place, where then Peter had to use more. He had to use more of his brain to think through defeating an enemy without.
We have to be more strategic.
Yes.
He had to be more strategic. So is that a contradiction technically, like the Sam Raimi having to produce it naturally versus like the Amazing Spider-Man where he had it, in a cartridge?
Right. Well, that's more lore accurate in the Amazing Spider-Man, that it was a cartridge and stuff like that.
Right. But in like Sam Raimi, would that be considered like an egregious level of lore breaking?
It can, or is it just because they did even try to introduce organic webbing and stuff in the comics, but nobody really liked it then either. So and Marvel Pure says because Raimi is a horror guy. I don't know if that was for the webbing or what. I don't want to misquote him again, but I could possibly see that. I don't know. Like I said, I didn't mind the idea. It kind of gave him more spider powers than just the whole wall crawling and everything. So,
well, what's interesting is, okay, so he could Peter Parker web crawl without the suit?
Yeah, absolutely. That's one of his natural. That's one of his powers. Is wall crawling.
So it's kind of weird. It's like you can web crawl without a suit and everything, but you need to produce webbing mechanically when a spider can do both. So I get
right.
I don't know. I don't want to get
No. So, like I said, I didn't mind the idea personally. Like I don't.
Did the organic webbing in the comic come before or after Sam Raimi's movie?
Oh, good question.
And if it came before, then clearly that's not a contradiction, because I would assume comics are the groundwork for comics are lore for the most part.
Yeah, because he did the whole spider transformation thing, and there was the whole oh god, because he's transformed into a spider a couple of times, I believe.
He doesn't need his glasses anymore.
Because there was in the early comics, he got the whole 4 arms thing going on at one point, and then he did transform into human spider, and then later on they did that again with this whole Madam Web bullshit of the whole
webbing of time, of time,
all that sort of crap. I don't know.
Sounds like a cult. Like a spider cult.
In a sense, that's kind of what they've turned it into.
What was the movie with the bunch of? There's a recent movie that came out about. Was it about Madam Web or Web of Time?
Yeah, they had the Madam Web movie that didn't hit very well.
Yeah, it was like Dakota Johnson or something. Did she play in it?
I don't remember.
Or whoever the girl was. Brad watched it, I thought, and tortured himself. But I don't understand the Web of Time and Madam Web. It sounds like a very spider cultish within the comic. I don't know. Like she doesn't control time, but she controls.
She can see through the web of time. Yes, that's kind of her gimmick.
Yeah. So I don't know. There's so much about Spider-Man that I don't know.
There is. Marvel Pure says say exactly fractured, which is why I like Amazing 1. I think that was for the whole why the web cartridges, and when they run out, it kind of then has to work strategery.
Who do you think? And I'll let you get to the chat, and then I don't know if you want to end it or not. But who do you think, with all the comics you've read, all the movies we've seen, who do you think can play the best Peter Parker? You can say Gary Oldman. He's a little old, but who do you think can embody Peter Parker on screen the best? And if you don't think there's anybody currently, then you can say you don't think there's anybody. But is there anybody in your mind in the acting in Hollywood that can portray Peter Parker, both Peter Parker and Spider-Man perfectly, and do the comics justice?
Oh, I mean, honestly, now, like now, like if they did a run of Spider-Girl and they brought Tobey Maguire to play the older Peter Parker, that was kind of the story, it was well into the future. He had retired as Spider-Man for reasons I won't spoil. The comic isn't bad. It's all kind of like him raising their daughter, and she then has the Spider-Man powers. I think he could play that role pretty well if they were to like adapt that storyline.
This is not the same run where he loses a leg and has a girl, and his daughter becomes. Is that the same?
Okay, yeah, that's the same one. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I've touched on it a little bit, not in depth, but
it's okay. They do some questionable things because they do turn Black Cat into lesbian in that comic and everything. It's like,
well, what's more confusing about it is how did she get did she get bit by the spider, or
apparently that now has become genetic? So,
which is okay. That's where I was a little bit confused. I'm like, I didn't know that.
Yeah, there's some weird parts about it. If you kind of tweak some of the elements, I think it could possibly work out.
Okay.
And the thing that I did kind of like was that he kind of passes on Ben Reilly's Spider-Man costume to her. I kind of like that continuation. Just because it like, even though it wasn't Ben Reilly's Scarlet Spider outfit, but it was when he was trying to be Spider-Man for a bit, and the costume isn't bad.
So outside Tobey Maguire,
I just don't know any I just don't know any actors that would be good for it, because I would think nowadays, kind of like with some things, cast an unknown.
It's almost it's a 50-50 shot in the dark.
Yeah, to cast an unknown, and of course do it from
it's almost a gamble.
Do the young perspective, like an actual young individual, and not a 20-year-old trying to play a
younger,
teenager.
Yeah. Well, I think that's the whole problem, man. Because I don't know how old Tobey Maguire
even grow into the role even more. So
yeah,
that would be kind of my thoughts for it.
I don't understand. I don't understand what. So I don't know how old Tobey Maguire was when he was doing the movies. But you brought up a good point. It's these older actors trying to play a younger character. So it's like, why not? And I get it. Like, you know, that it's a big gamble, right? Like to go for.
So he was 26 when he was Spider-Man in the first one.
Yeah, Spider-Man in the comics is what, like in 15, 16?
He starts out in his young teens.
Yeah, so it's like
mid to late teens. It's
almost as bad as, you know, what's her name? Who played Padme?
Natalie Portman.
Yeah, playing, you know, how old, you know, actually Padme was, and supposed to be in episode 1.
Yeah.
Robbing the cradle, but I don't know. I mean, it like I said, I don't want it to ever come to fruition, but I'm just curious if you thought if there's anybody currently acting that you know that could do that. But I don't know if there is, because I think if there was, they would have probably already done it. I think, and that's why I stand my ground when I say Maguire played the best Parker, Garfield played the best Spider-Man, and Tom Holland needs to just go pound sand.
Agreed.
You know.
Dan Blackred said it added elements of danger to any situation. It became a plot device too. Running out of webs was convenient to turn the tide against Spider-Man in a fight. Right, that's it. Yeah. And he says they never really address how it works through the material, the web crawling. Yeah, and you know, like it is, you don't need to explain everything.
No, just the major the fundamental things.
Hello, Brandon Tran. How's it going? Saying hello. Sorry I'm late. Fractured Filter and Hitman. Hope you guys are having a good weekend. We are. Well, I am. I don't know about Hitman. I think he is.
Talking about this has actually been fun. I never would have thought talking about Spider-Man would be fun. But
Melissa Lord
this
says
is the stuff I enjoy.
Yeah. Oh no, 100%. Melissa Lord says Madam Web was hilarious. So bad it's good. The ADR in that movie is legendary. Oh God, do I have to eventually watch that?
Probably. You gotta watch Fantastic Four first.
Of course. Brandon Tran says, don't know if you guys have a lot planned to talk today, but have you guys heard about George Lucas revealed his big project he's been working on, Narrative Museum of Art at Comic-Con last weekend? I heard little bits of rumblings of him talking about his museum, but we haven't really looked into it. We've just been kind of just doing general stuff. We haven't really gone into but we might have to cover, so might have to look into that at some point. Let's see. Decrepit says I have to head out, unfortunately. Family barbecue. Hey, no, by all means, dude. Barbecue's awesome. Thanks for the talk and laughs as always. We need to talk DC Hitman. Peace, chat. Everyone have a good night. You have a great night and enjoy the barbecue, Decrepit. Have a great time, dude. Marvel purist, by the 80s, he's married to MJ before the dark times. Yes, the dark times for poor Spidey. Because he said the fact they had Spider-Man retreat and retreads, and they had the audacity to say Peter Parker hadn't been born yet. Probably the most offensive thing ever to do to comic book lore ever. Oh, for the Madam Web movie. Yeah, I heard some stuff about that. Well, we're almost at our 7 o'clock 3-hour mark. I think now's a good time. Do you think, sir?
Yeah, we can do that. We're a little bit more structured next week, but this is like, honestly, this is the stuff I like. I like that we talked about last week. It's like not having a schedule, or we can just come in and we just do what we want to talk about. Like, I had no idea that, like, I know we talked about we were going to do the Superman, but
I know we talked about Man of Steel for almost an hour plus.
Well, yeah, but this is the kind of stuff that I enjoy, right? It's like not having like, okay, we're 45 minutes in the show, we need to cover this topic, like, you know what I mean? This has just been organic, and that's what I want to get back to. That's why I enjoy.
Yeah. No, I agree.
So
100%, dude. Dan Blackred asks, why have you not seen Thunderbolts yet? Oh, for God's sakes.
he's gonna have a list of movies he's got to watch. He's got to get through Fantastic Four first.
Oh boy. Yep.
Everybody put the pressure on Fractured, though.
You don't have to, really. Don't. Not on my no. It's okay. It's
Has
okay.
to happen.
All right. Well, with that, guys, I think we're calling it here. Thank you all so much for being here for another episode of Saturday Night Sith. It was a lot of fun. Like Hitman said, we're keeping it less forcibly structured and just more organic. We're just trying to have some fun, like we did as all. I mean, we always have fun, but like it is. Otherwise, be sure to catch us back here, same bat time, same bat channel next week. We are going to be doing a recording for Wormhole Watch tomorrow, so check out on Duke Devil 95's channel Wednesday morning when Brad drops that. I know it's a Bajoran Kira episode, so we should be in for some fun. Dan Blackroyd says, I will monitor the situation as it unfolds. Marvel Pure says, organic like Raimi Spider-Man. You got it. Brandon Trent says, at Comic-Con, George Lucas shared a lot of awesome stuff with artist Doug Chang for his Museum of Narrative Art for public to see, like prequel vehicles and actually art. Well, that's cool. Yeah, we'll have to look into that. But yeah, so, and of course, I'll be on Static 2020's weekend pregame, 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time over on his channel. check that out. And also, we might be making a guest appearance on Static's Bloodbath on Monday, which is, I believe, 7 p.m. Pacific time. So catch that as well.
Do it.
Do it. Brandon Trent says, can you guys share your take on George Lucas's narrative museum of art for next week if you take requests?
Okay.
For you, Brandon, sure. We'll look into it and we'll talk about it next week. With that though, thank you everybody for dropping by. Thank you, Brandon, for dropping by. Star Wars Marvel Purist Decrepit, Dan Blackroyd, Melissa Lord. We had Greg Hates Everything joining in. I mean, he was just flowing with the chat with the Man of Steel talk. The Briscoe 1234. Let's see who else. I know we had more than that. Let's see. New York, Florida man was in as well. Thank you for dropping by. Nightmare. Thank you, dude. I wanted to say there was somebody else. Jedi something. There's so many names. And it doesn't help that I'm scrolling through this kind of quickly. No, that's where I need to like take screenshots almost. Well, one way or another, thank you all so much for dropping on by, and we'll see you all next week. Have a wonderful evening. Bye-bye.
Really well.
What is thy bidding, my master?
Yeah, I should have known from the very beginning. From what you said. Yeah, when the mega powers were formed. Yeah, what you were out for from the very beginning. Yeah, you were after what was mine. I remember what you said.
You can destroy the Emperor. Join me. Together, we can rule the galaxy as father and son.
Yeah, that one was rough. Those words right there. Yeah, I got stuck, yeah, but I swallowed it anyway. Didn't like the taste, but I swallowed it anyway, yeah. But I remember the time when there was a conquistador out of the ring, the one that's so jealous that he can't stand it, yeah. Yeah, you came in there with your poses, yeah, but you made a big idiot out of yourself, yeah. And speaking of idiot things, what about that stupid idea? Did you forget that one? Think back. That right there sealed your fate. Yeah, that put the madness over the edge. But I'll tell you what felt even better, yeah, was in the dressing room, in the first aid room. Me being unselfish, yeah, said go ahead, do the thing, yeah. You won't steal my thunder, no. When you take a look at the madness's eyes, all you're gonna see is complete and utter